ABC Sports presents the 1981 World Series. Live from Dodger Stadium, it's the Yankees against the Dodgers. Yesterday, Game 4, a key pinch hit home run by Jay Johnstone with a man on brought the Dodgers back in the ball game. They had been trailing by 3. A series of Yankee mistakes, costly all over again, including one unfortunate occurrence, a pop fly to right field lost by Jackson in the sun. Finally, reliever Steve Howe came on to hold the fort, but just barely. That drive by Randolph just short. So it's game number 5 today. In Dodger Town, the fans are filled with a Dodger frenzy, and why not? Their team has come back to even. This ABC Sports presentation is being brought to you by Gillette Atra Razor. It pivots to continually adjust and hug every curve and contour of your face. Give it the pivot with Gillette Atra. By Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. By Chevrolet, who invite you to see all the good things for 1982 at your local Chevy dealers. Chevy makes good things happen. And by Seiko and your authorized Seiko dealer. This plaque is the sign you can trust to get the best of Seiko. Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Dodger Stadium, game number 5, the 1981 World Series. No need to embellish the drama. The first 2 games were characterized by some media people as dull, but now they're scrambling to retract. The last 2 games have been as exciting as can be. Good matchup today, Royce against Guidry. Maybe a 3rd straight wild game. In the meantime, we get ready now to go right down to the field, and our public address announcer, Mr. John Ramsey.
And now, to honor America, here to sing our national anthem is the star of the National Company of Evita, currently in Los Angeles, Lonnie Ackerman, accompanied by Helen Dell at the Dodger Stadium Hammond organ.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 23rd Olympiad will be held in Los Angeles in 1984, and amateur baseball will have its largest role ever in the Olympics as a demonstration sport with games to be played at Dodger Stadium. We are pleased to have with us today to throw the first ball the president of the Los Angeles Olympic Organizing Committee, Peter Uberrod, accompanied by the official Olympic mascot, Sam the Eagle.
Peter Ueberroth, the man in charge of getting things together for the Olympics to be held here in Los Angeles in 1984. Right now, we're ready. Game 5 coming up, the Yankees and the Dodgers.
Why is our front-wheel drive Chevy Citation such a hero with so many Americans? Let's ask Working Woman.
With its 5-passenger room, my Citation works like a little limousine for our company's clients. Except when it's working like a wagon with room for all our company samples. Citation works like a charm in traffic, and it works like...
Thank you, Working Woman. But is there no room in your life for play?
I'm working on it.
Now get bigger savings on new 1981 Citations.
We got them all. That means it's Miller time. Come on, I'm buying.
Miller time. Time to head for the best tasting beer you can find. Miller High Life.
If you've got the time, Miller's got the beer.
All right, children. Who's going to be the first one to recite the alphabet? How about you, Ann?
A, B, C, D, E, F, E, F, E, F, Hudson.
When E.F. Hutton talks, people listen.
Here's your chance to get the official 1981 World Series program, a collector's item commemorating the 78th Fall Classic. Send check or money order for $4 to World Series program, Post Office Box 250, Hicksville, New York 11802. Please make checks payable to World Series program. New York residents must add appropriate sales tax. That's World Series program, Box 250, Hicksville, New York. Allow 8 weeks for delivery. The preceding message was furnished by Major League Baseball.
Starting lineup for the Yankees, leading off Willie Randolph, batting second Larry Milburn, Dave Winfield third, hoping to get started, and then the big man Reggie Jackson. After him, the big man for the Yankees during the series, Bob Watson, then Lou Piniella in there today against the southpaw, followed by Rick Cerrone, then Aurelio Rodriguez, Nettles still out, finally Ron Guidry.
And for the Dodgers, defensively, Steve Garvey having a great series, 8 for 16 at first base. At second base, getting on track yesterday with a couple of hits and a couple of runs batted in, Davey Lopes. Bill Russell, the shortstop, drove in the tying run in the 6th inning yesterday. And Ron Cey having a fine series. Friday night's hero at third. The outfield, it's Dusty Baker around and left, trying to get on track. In center field today, the Dodgers go with yesterday's defensive replacement as a starter, Darryl Thomas, and Pedro Guerrero in right. Getting the start is Steve Yeager, starting for the 4th time in the 5 games. And on the mound, the starter in Game 1, Tuesday in New York, Jerry Royce. In Game 1, Royce lasted only 2 2/3 innings. That was the earliest he was knocked out this season. So Jerry Royce, long career and good success, but pitching in the World Series for the first time. Started his career with the Cardinals, went to Houston, Pittsburgh, and time called here. Dusty Baker out in left field doing some house cleaning. That is taken care of, and we'll get underway with Willie Randolph to lead things off. Randolph, Milburn, and Winfield. Willie just 2 for 10 in the series, but he's really been a pest. He's walked 6 times and reached on an error. So he's been on base on 9 occasions. 1-0 the count. Check the umpires today. American Leaguer Rich Garcia back of the plate, Dick Stello at first, Larry Barnett at second, and Nick Colosi at third. Cooney down the line and left, Harvey down the line and right. And Royce quickly falls behind to Randolph. 2-0.
Again, we have an American League umpire behind the plate with the inside protector. Royce is going to have to keep the ball down to get some strikes today. If you characterize Richie Garcia, he, what I would say, is a hitter's umpire. He makes you throw strikes, and the hitters know that.
Shot foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count. They talked about Friday's game being a twilight game, but as we pointed out in the third inning, the lights had full effect on Friday. This will be a twilight game. Of course, we went to standard time last night. You can see where the shadow is already. And a good part of the game will be played in the shade. 3-2.
There you saw the high fastball. If there's anything that you would say that Royce did wrong in New York in the first game was get the ball up in the strike zone.
Randolph on a check swing. Bounces down to Garvey. Shovels to Royce, covering in time to get Randolph. One away in the first inning. And the man has shown up today.
Yes, he has. Yesterday, Lasorda started to engage in some badinage with me. And I said, Frank here? He said, no, he'll be here tomorrow. And I said, you mean Frank Torrey?
Larry Milburn.
Lasorda's office is like a Sinatra museum.
And an Italian restaurant. Larry Milburn, 4 for 14 in the series. Little chopper down to Lopes, who has to charge. Throw on the run. Get him. 2 grounders to the right side, and quickly 2 down in the first inning. And up comes the man trying to get on track, Dave Winfield.
Here an easy play for Davey Lopes. High chopper. Milburn does not run as well from the right side.
2 out and the base is empty. No score. This is the final game to be played here. Teams are off tomorrow. Game 6 Tuesday in New York. Game 7, if necessary, Wednesday in New York. Dave Winfield not only 0 for 14 in the World Series, but he was hitless in the final game against Oakland in the American League Championship Series. So he's 0 for his last 19. 0-1. The thing about Winfield, though, he is not really a weak 0 for 14 in this series. Hit a couple of shots yesterday that just missed going out.
Well, he's developed warning track power. Everything goes to the warning track, but not over.
That's a bad habit to have as a hitter.
1-1.
He's got quite a seat.
What is that? What is he doing up there? Back of the pavilion in right field. One way to get in. They're sold out. Winfield fouling it away in the count. 1-2.
And there you saw the cut fastball Royce throws too. He throws one with the seams and runs away, and this is a fastball that sails in. He cuts it in on the right-handed batters. Tough pitch to handle. And if you're Jerry Royce and you go back over the first game that you pitched in New York and you criticize the problems that you had, you'd say, number 1, I got behind the hitters. Number 2, all my pitches were up. And so far you've seen Royce do just the opposite. He's getting ahead of the hitters with a 1-2 count on Winfield. Made a good pitch on Milburn to jam him and get the easy roller to Lopes.
And he strikes Winfield out. So Jerry Royce with a quick 1-2-3 inning. Didn't see many of those yesterday after a half. It's the Yankees, nothing, and the Dodgers coming up.
United announces great low prices on complete Hawaii vacation packages. Prices that bring Hawaii closer from the East Coast, closer from the Midwest, closer from every city United serves. United, once-in-a-lifetime prices for a once-in-a-lifetime vacation.
Sometimes it feels as though I've been standing in line my whole life.
When everybody has to wait in line for one copy machine, what's your real cost of copying? For the whole cost of standing in line for one central copier, you can own 3M's whole line of outstanding copiers. And you can put them where you need them. This little bit of enlightenment has been brought to you by 3M Company.
Starting lineup for the Dodgers, the catalyst being that again, Davey Lopes, then Bill Russell, a big man yesterday. Steve Garvey, a big man throughout the series. Ron Cey, the cleanup man, and a big man. Dusty Baker still struggling. Pedro Guerrero, always dangerous. Steve Yeager, who's been a stick-out throughout the series. Darryl Thomas, the versatile one. And finally, Jerry Royce, the pitcher.
And quickly, the Yankee defense. Bob Watson at first base. He's been there for all 5 games. At second is Willie Randolph. The Yankee shortstop, in place of the injured Bucky Dent, doing a fine job in postseason. Larry Milburn. Again, Aurelio Rodriguez at third with Nettles out. In the outfield today, Lou Piniella gets the start against the left-hander in left field. In center field, Dave Winfield, who started there yesterday. And around in right, Reggie. Back of the plate for the Yankees, Rick Cerone. And the pitcher, Ron Guidry. Pitched well in game number 1, giving up just 1 run, 4 hits in 7 innings of work. Gossage picked up the save in game 1 on Tuesday. Ron's career World Series record is 3-0 with a 1.44 ERA. All of his starts against the Dodgers. No score, bottom of the first inning. Davey Lopes, the batter, looks at a strike. Lopes, 2 hits yesterday, drove in 2 runs, and scored a couple.
They talk about Lopes retiring, maybe even at the end of this season. Doubtful. The guy still makes the big plays, a real catalyst of the club.
And there you saw the Ron Guidry slider to run the count in 1 and 2. That is the pitch that the Dodgers are going to have the most difficulty with today. If they lay off the bad ones, they're going to get Guidry to throw his fastball away. Throws exceptionally hard, around 92 miles per hour the first game in New York.
And down goes Lopes. So Guidry starts with a strikeout. 1 away in the first inning.
He has a remarkable record, Al, for not giving up a run in the first inning of a ball game. It's hard to remember when that happened last.
It's interesting. Some pitchers are that way. Others try to rectify early inning jitters by altering and changing constantly their warm-up routines. Russell popping it up. Third baseman Rodriguez is there and makes the catch. What Guidry ought to do, Jim, is patent whatever his warm-up routine is. He's obviously ready every time he comes out of the bullpen to the mound.
Well, that's true. You see a lot of guys go out there maybe 10 minutes early because they have trouble in the early innings, and it's the most difficult time. You just don't know what you have. You're not used to the mound.
And Jim, he has not given up an earned run in the first inning in this entire season.
Well, that's an amazing statistic. It's hard to believe.
Steve Garvey, 8 hits in 16 trips in the series, and also a couple of very loud outs. 283 during the regular season. Going inside. The leaders, minimum 60 at-bats. Lou Brock, 391 career average. Reggie number 2, Garvey number 5. Garvey hits it in the air to right center field. Winfield coming in, but he'll have to play it on a hop. And Garvey is aboard with a base hit.
He keeps doing it. Interestingly, though, he was batting .500 in the series when he went up to the plate then. He's 7 for 9 with the bases empty. He's only 1 for 7 with runners on base. That yesterday's infield single. But he's on base.
And he's now hit safely in 17 of his last 18 games.
Well, I would say there's probably a reason for why he hits better when there's nobody on, is that the pitcher probably doesn't bear down as much. There you have a 1-0 count. He doesn't want to get behind him, and he gave him a pitch to hit. He didn't hit it very hard, but he's strong enough when Guidry got the ball in to fight it off, even though he did loop it into center field for a base hit.
1 ball, no strikes, the count on Ron Cey. Cey, a 3-run homer in the first inning on Friday night. 2 games here have been wild.
Well, they have, and the ballpark has a lot to do with it. And Ronnie Cey was saying that he really feels the ball is carrying as well as it is because of the unusually warm weather they've had out here in Los Angeles.
Check swing, appeal at first, and they get the call from Dick Stello. First base umpire said yes, it's a strike. You judge.
And here you see a 1-0 slider. Cey's not just looking for a good pitch to hit. Doesn't want to swing at a bad one. Really can't stop his swing.
Garvey at first base. 1-1 pitch is pop foul. Back out of play. And the count 1-2. Another warm day. Temperature in the mid-70s at Dodger Stadium. Look around Dodger Stadium, and you can see where the shadows are right now, and they will extend out toward the playing field as we go along. Very shortly, they'll be between the mound and the plate. 1-2 pitch on the way. Is fouled back. You know what's interesting, Jim? We talk so much about games in the shade and the problems that hitters have. What people don't often talk about, umpires oftentimes have problems seeing the ball in the shade.
Well, it does, and I think yesterday both sides, talking to the players, felt that Doug Harvey missed a lot of pitches. And under no circumstances am I saying he's a bad umpire, but because umpires have games like that, as pitchers have poor games and hitters also. But they felt a lot of pitches that should have been strikes on both sides were called balls, and a lot of times the umpire has the same problem the hitter does. He can't pick up the spin on the ball, and it's a reaction type game. The hitter's up there trying to react on a 90-mile-per-hour fastball. The umpire is supposed to be perfect and get better as he goes along. It's a very tough job.
2-2 pitch is low, so the count is full on Rod Say. And with 2 down, we'll see Garvey moving with the pitch from first base.
And here's the big difference between Yankee Stadium and Dodger Stadium. Guidry in New York, when he gets a 3-2 counter behind the hitter, can throw his fastball out over the plate and let him hit it to that large air territory in left and center. Here, those fly balls can be home runs. You got to be a little bit finer. You have to make a little bit better pitch, and that sometimes leads to base on balls.
Watson back on the bag after starting to move behind Garvey. Steve will be going with the pitch with the count 3-2.
The reason for that is they don't want him to get a big jump, and if Garvey would, excuse me, if Say would double, he might score from first.
3-2 pitch to Say is shot foul.
What was it George Steinbrenner said to me on Sports Beat? We're playing on a ping pong team.
Well, Ronnie Sakes said he's complained about this infield for years, and it takes 2 games where you have unusual, strange, irregular type hops to really prove that. Now, they've kind of been advantageous to the Dodgers, but they could have worked both ways. They just haven't seemed to as of yet.
3-2 pitch is ball 4. Runners at first and second with 2 down in the first inning.
So Guidry having first inning troubles. It's not been scored on yet, but it may be the beginning of a change of pattern for him. Remember, Guidry has not been. There's George Steinbrenner. Pattern and pinstripes. He has not been. Guidry, the steady pitcher that he was for the better part of the season for the last 4 to 5 weeks.
Rod working on Baker. Dusty trying to shake a slump. Looks at a strike. Baker just 2 for 15 in the World Series. And he was hitless in his last 4 at-bats in the National League Championship Series. 2 for his last 19 overall. 1-1 the count. No score, bottom of the first inning, 2 out, Garvey at second, and Say at first.
I think the big advantage Guidry had in the first ball game is when he went out there the second time in the second inning, he had a big lead. Watson's 3-run home run gave him a cushion.
Baker lining it to left field. Piniella coming on, makes the catch despite staggering. Lou starting to fall down, goes to his knees, and makes the play.
Not a very good pitch in the middle of the plate. Baker hits it hard. But Piniella makes a fine play. May have had little problems with the stands. Here again, Lou has it all the way.
And the inning is over. So the Dodgers go down, no runs, a hit, leave a couple after 1, no score.
Marcus, I see Whisker. Give it the pivot. Give it the pivot. Give it the pivot. Atra.
Next time, Jose, give it the pivot.
Atra.
The Gillette Atra razor pivots to continually adjust and hug every curve, contour, and angle. No other razor shaves closer and more comfortably than Atra.
I give it the pivot.
Give it the pivot. Atra.
Give it the pivot with Gillette Atra.
Quick, where's my one-step?
What? What's happening?
Nothing, this party's dead.
I hear laughing.
They're laughing at the hors d'oeuvres.
Oh.
I got it.
And I worked so hard.
Smile, everybody.
Why, is the party over?
No, it just started.
Hey, everybody looks happy.
I thought cameras didn't lie. Polaroid one-step brings a dead party to life in seconds.
More hors d'oeuvres, everybody.
They're funnier than the pictures.
Out. Everybody out.
Polaroid means fun.
With a one-step.
Oh, Mr. Goodwrench, can I get a tune-up?
Sure can.
What's that?
Your written estimate.
Mr. Goodwrench wants you to know in advance just about how much the job will cost. He has the GM training and tools available to do the job right.
Gee, that's reasonable.
Mr. Goodwrench knows our customers don't like surprises.
Keep that great GMP.
Where Mr. Goodwrench works.
With genuine GM parts.
Al Michaels with Howard Cosell and Jim Palmer. We go to the second inning at Dodger Stadium, Game 5. No score, with Reggie Jackson to lead off for the Yankees. Bob Watson and Lou Piniella to follow. Reggie looks at a strike. Reggie reaching base safely 5 times yesterday, only the 7th time in World Series history that had been accomplished. Reggie lining it fair down the left field line, so he's aboard again. And Dusty Baker, with the ball still in play, picks it up and gets it back in. Jackson has a double.
This much must be said for that man. They boo him everywhere he goes. He doesn't run a popularity contest. As you look at this again, incidentally, his batting average against lefties in World Series has been extremely good, above indeed 380. As he moves in for a double into the left field corner, ball sticking against the wall. But give him this, he's a remarkable performer. The dramatic flair doesn't have to be overemphasized. It's just remarkable the way he hit the home run yesterday coming back.
Well, they're having a discussion on the ground rules.
Because the ball got stuck in the wall.
And I think if you go back to the playoff games that Jerry Royce pitched in, the biggest problem he had with the Astro hitters were with their left-handed hitters. That was not a bad pitch. That was like thigh high on the outside part of the plate. Got to give Reggie credit. He went right with it, probably because he couldn't really catch up with it. Hit it right inside the bag at third base for a double.
Bob Watson having a fine series. Rifles it foul off the top of the Yankee dugout, halfway back into the lower deck, 0-1.
Against Jerry Royce, Bob Watson is hitting .500, 11 for 22 in his career.
They were teammates for a while at Houston.
And as a pitcher, you know that. I know Rod Carew at one point last year was 23 for 46, and I struck him out with the bases loaded. How that ever happened, I don't know. But Royce knows that he does not make good pitches. The pitch he hit for the 3-run home run was the fastball out over the plate.
Still 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes the count. Jackson at second. Mentioned that Reggie reached 5 times yesterday. The other fellows who have done that, Babe Ruth did it twice, Lou Brock, Brooks Robinson, Rusty Staub, and Jim, if you can tell me the other guy, I'll give you $1.50.
Don't think I can, Al.
Kiko Garcia in the 1979 World Series.
3rd game. Is that correct?
That is correct. 1-2 the count.
You should have gotten out of Baltimore at 2-0, not 1-1. You could have won that series in 4 straight. Weaver didn't bunt Lowenstein, you remember?
I was pitching the ball
Greg
game.
Nettles right there, sitting out again, which is killing him.
2-2 now, the count on Watson.
Reggie's hit was officially ruled a ground rule double.
That was why they had the conference with the umpires. Terry Cooney had initially signaled the ball was in play. Now time called as Harold Thomas heads back toward the gate in center field. And going over to the Dodger dugout is the plate umpire, Rich Garcia. You can see it is not flush out there. I don't know if that is what they are discussing at the moment. Thomas had started back in that direction. It will also provoke a visit by Nick Colosi, the 3rd base umpire, to the Dodger dugout.
Thomas is pointing to the right of that door.
It must be a mirror out there.
A mirror, a pin, something that reflects the sunlight.
Well, all the hitters have said this is the most, especially the Dodgers who play here all night games except Sunday, have said this is the most difficult part in the National League to pick up the ball in the daytime because it comes right out of the 395 if you're left-handed in right center, and if you're if you're left-handed and if you're right-handed, it comes over the 395 in left center.
We're ready now on the 2-2 pitch. He goes to the right side to advance the runner, and Davey Lopes makes a nice play, but Dan can't make the play at first base. Lopes went a long way to handle the ground ball, had it, couldn't hold on, and it cost him. The Yankees with runners at first and third.
Well, Watson showed himself as the professional. As you look again, he just reached out and guided that ball to the right side to advance Jackson. It was perfectly placed. It had eyes, and that's why it became, in the ultimate, a difficult play for Davey.
Lopes charged with an error. And with no score and nobody out in the second inning, the Yankees with runners at first and third, and Lou Piniella. His figures there for the regular season, 4 for 11 in the World Series. Infield a double play depth. 1-1. Reggie Jackson at third. Bob Watson held on by Garvey at first. Grounded toward the hole. That's a base hit to score a clapping Reggie Jackson. And Watson pulls in at second. Reggie applauding as he came across home plate, and the Yankees take a 1-0 lead in the second inning. Lou Piniella will go to right when he has to and go to left when he has to.
It was a high fastball, and Lou showed the quickness of his swing. It was a ground ball. Probably would have been a double play ball had it been at Russell, but was in the middle of the plate, and he got out in front and pulled it in the hole.
Now Rick Cerrone with runners at first and second. Say playing even with a bag at third as Cerrone looks at a strike. Positioning of Ron and the rest of the Dodger infield with nobody out and runners at first and second. Strike one pitch. Chopper hit to Russell. He goes to Lopes for one. Davey to first. Double play. Jerry Royce gets two big outs, and Watson advances to third.
Jerry throws a nice low fastball. Cerrone hits it in the dirt. Perfect double play ball. Rick not known for his speed. And there you see the pivot. Lopes, excellent throw to Garvey. And doing what a shortstop should do. He comes in, knows he has a chance for two, and Lopes makes a nice throw for the DP.
With two out, and Watson at third, Aurelio Rodriguez. Bob Watson 90 feet away as Rodriguez, the number 8 hitter, stands in. Aurelio with his third straight start. Breaks his bat, hits it down to Russell at short, and Bill throws him out. So the Yankees in the inning settle for 1 run, 2 hits. The Dodgers make an error. A man left on through an inning and a half at Dodger Stadium. It's the Yankees 1 and the Dodgers nothing.
People trust Seiko technology for bold sports watches that perform brilliantly, even 100 meters beneath the sea. People trust Seiko for slim dress watches with every timekeeping function you'll probably ever need. People trust Seiko for watches that are as finely crafted as they are technologically advanced. In fact, people trust Seiko more than any other watch. At your authorized dealer.
You've read about it, you've heard about it. But until now, you've never had a better chance to own it. It's the RCA Video Disc Player, the remarkable machine that plays records of movies, concerts, and more on your TV. And to help you be one of the first to own one, RCA is offering a $50 introductory bonus. Buy one now and you'll get $50 direct from RCA. What's more, a special 10-day money-back offer is available at selected RCA dealers. But hurry, you may never have a better chance.
Between Flights America, but our hero's back.
Have a seat, you're gonna love this.
Rouse trained all summer for the season premiere of The Greatest American Hero, Wednesday.
Bottom of the second inning in Game 5 of the 1981 World Series. The Yankees leading it 1-0 with Pedro Guerrero, Steve Yeager, and Darryl Thomas coming up for the Dodgers, who had been slumping in postseason play despite their success. Interestingly now, though, the Dodgers have had a man on in the last 22 consecutive innings. To center field, deep but playable for Winfield, and Dave makes the catch. Edge of the track.
You saw Winfield motion. He had it under control. Many years ago, Red Barber taught a lot of fans in the early days of baseball broadcasts how to watch a fly ball. Look at the outfield. He would tell them, and you can tell whether he's got a bead on the ball or it's gone.
Steve Yeager, 1 for 6 thus far in the series. The strike. Get word now that what they ruled on the double by Jackson was that it was not a ground rule double. They changed the ruling, and they wanted to get that clear with Tommy Lasorda, and that provoked the situation where they gathered with the Dodger manager just to get the ground rules straight.
Of course, yesterday we saw Yeager with the pinch hit sacrifice fly for the winning, not the winning run, but put him ahead.
Deep left field. Lou Piniella going all the way back, leaps up, and it's off the wall. Winfield plays the carom, and Yeager has it double.
Steve Yeager has become one of the more interesting people in this series. His candor in wanting to be traded, yet the excellence of his performance because of his frequent opportunity to play because of opposing southpaw pitches.
There you saw the nice effort by Piniella. Guidry had an 0-2 count. And here again you see Lou going back. Doesn't have time to get back to the wall, but almost catches the ball as you see him jump high as he can. Ball hits off his glove. Winfield heads up again, is backing up. Guidry had him 0-2 and threw him a slider in the middle of the plate. Not a very good pitch, but Yeager took advantage of it. Almost a home run. Another foot, and the game's tied.
Steve just missing. He's at second with 1 out. And Darryl Thomas, the switch hitter, playing center field today. 0-1 the count. That fence in the outfield here is 8 feet high.
And here's an unusual move with first base open. I know Thomas only hit 200 on the year. You would wonder if they would walk him and pitch to Royce.
Thomas lifts it in the air to left center field. Winfield gets a very late start. In trouble now, and Dave makes the catch.
Because he misjudged it, because he was in trouble, we'll look at this again. It was a truly remarkable effort. Only a man with his loping strides, look at them, like an antelope, 6 feet to a step, and they're just in time. That's why we have emphasized his greatness as an athlete.
A remarkable catch by Winfield. Having problems at Dodger Stadium, not uncommon in the outfield, in particular at this time of day in center field. Jerry Royce at the plate, fouling it away.
Well, we saw that yesterday. A pivotal play in yesterday's game was Bobby Brown misjudging the ball off Rick Monday's bat.
Different time of day, though, Jim.
A little bit later.
Much easier catch. This guy can hit, as you see from that graphic. Dangerous with runners in scoring position. He, too, an exceptional all-around athlete. Fields his position very well.
No balls, 1 strike. Bob Lemon, the Yankee manager.
The beleaguered one.
0-1 pitch. And the count 0-2. 2 out. Yeager with a double at second. So the Dodgers have now had a man on in 23 consecutive innings. You have to go back to the 4th inning of the second game when the Dodgers went out in order. Called strike 3. Jerry Royce is gone, and so the Dodgers leave a runner in scoring position, and we'll move to the 3rd at Dodger Stadium. It's the Yankees 1 and the Dodgers nothing.
I'll tell you, we never realized golf was such a tough game.
Hey, it's a lot easier hitting a quarterback than a little white ball. So us Linksters drink light beer from Miller.
Not just because light tastes great, but because it's got 1/3 less calories than a regular beer.
And it's less filling.
And you can't afford to get filled up when you're out there trying to get birdies.
Yeah, those things move awfully fast.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Why is our Citation X11 such a hero with performance-minded Americans? Let's ask Single Person.
Citation X11, super car. The handling is impressive, yet I've got 40 cubic feet of space here for all my toys. More amazing, it carries 5 adults comfortably.
Then your Citation X11 will fit right in when you're married and have kids.
I'm going to pretend you never said that.
Now get bigger savings on new 1981 Citations.
Now there's a place where they have their own authorized mechanics, quality parts and service, and prices you can afford. Now there's K-Care, found only at Kmart.
Why not change to the tire you don't have to change? The KM Special Radial, with 2 fiberglass belts and aggressive tread design. Goes through rain, mud, and snow, yet rides smooth on highways. Now the KM Special is sale priced as low as $31.97. Hey, we'll even rotate them every 5,000 miles at no charge. That's K-Care, only at Kmart.
7. Whatever became of the Monkees? Brigitte Bardot, Pinky Lee, and many more. Where they came from and where they went. A special look at whatever became of them. A hot new series. A 2-hour premiere of today's FBI.
You're in a risky line of business.
Mike Connors busts open a waterfront scandal.
I want this walking garbage off my beer.
Today's FBI.
Tonight, starting at 7 here on ABC.
Take another look now at that catch made by Winfield. After first going back on the ball and all the way in with a long strides and making a great play. Third inning. The Yankees ahead 1-0. Ron Guidry coming up to be followed by Willie Randolph and Larry Milburn. Guidry 0 for 2 in game 1. 0-1 the count. And quickly 0-2. Royce with a 1-2 delivery. Yeager can't hold on. Steve shaking off the bare hand.
Here you see Guidry fighting off a 2-strike curveball. Showed he was a pretty good hitter. He sacrificed over in New York. Lined out to left.
Ball strike 3. Jerry Royce handles him here. And the Dodger left-hander has his second strikeout. So 1 down in the 3rd inning. Willie Randolph, the batter. Palm trees outside Dodger Stadium. Ballpark immaculate. Looks like it was built 2 years ago. Landscaped magnificently.
Check the oil rights under the property.
Randolph hits it down the line and right and just foul. 0-1.
Don't forget, tomorrow night, ABC's NFL Monday Night Football, live 9 o'clock Eastern Time. The Oilers against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Key game for each team in the Central Division AFC battle, each at 4-3, each coming off losses. Houston to New England, Pittsburgh to Cincinnati, but each with the personnel to be menacing all the way.
0-1 pitch is inside to Willie. 1-1 the count. Randolph grounded out in the 1st inning. He's 2 for 11 in the series. 1 out, bases empty in the 3rd. 2-1.
Come on, Jerry.
And here you see the shadow creeping between the pitcher and the hitter. And what it does, it makes it more difficult to pick up the spin. Royce does not throw that many breaking balls. He does have a slow curveball. Just a little bit more difficult. The ball looks a lot grayer. You don't see it as sharp as you would on a clear day or even at night.
3-1 the count.
Randolph in his familiar practice of working the pitcher.
Well, they don't pitch against Willie Randolph all year, but as a pitcher, you know that you have to get out in front of him. That's why he gets a lot of good fastballs to hit.
Willie looks at a strike after starting toward first. It's Garcia saying no.
He's questioning that call.
Well, Willie thinks this pitch is high, and he does his job. He's trying to get on. Watch him duck the ball. Where he ended up, it was high. Well, it's a borderline pitch, and you probably get more of those pitches in the American League than you would in the National League. Yesterday, I think that ball would have definitely been a ball.
3-2 offering is ball 4. Royce wanted that one. So Willie Randolph with his 7th walk in the series.
And that's something you don't see him do very often. The second in the National League behind Gaylord Perry, averaged under 2 walks.
You've used the term cutting the ball a number of times. Why don't you explain to the viewers?
Well, you can throw a fastball, you hold it off center, and if you're left-handed, the ball will just come in like a fastball and it'll just kind of sail into him. It's a very effective pitch from a guy like Royce to a right-handed hitter because it looks like a fastball and just moves toward him. They hit a lot of the balls up on the handle. We saw this the last time with Milbourne, who's up now. He ran the fastball in on him.
Randolph at first base. 0-1. What would be the most distinguishing difference, Jim, between a cut fastball and a slider?
It's not really the spin. The ball just does not have as much spin as the slider does. And Royce, you can see him. I don't think he feels very comfortable out there. A lot of his pitches are up in the strike zone. And for him to be effective, he has to keep the ball down, get that ball working down in the strike zone.
Chop foul at the plate. 0-2.
Steve Howe, the man who held the fort, but just barely, remembering Randolph's final out.
Boy, did that ball carry, too, yesterday.
Out the right center wall, yep.
I don't think anybody thought that ball was going as far as it did, but another illustration of how well the ball is carrying. Ron Cey said, you look at the Friday night, a perfect example. You usually look up the third deck and you'd see dew, and not a whole lot of moisture on Friday night.
Key pitch for Royce thus far in this game was the double play ball of Cerrone, when Cerrone hit to the left side and probably should have been trying to go right.
0-2 pitch is hit down the right field line, but fouled.
Hey, Johnny, you're growing old gracefully.
See if you're ever on his show again, huh?
No, I told him that when we wrapped up the Burt Reynolds roast. Fryer's roast in New York. Johnny was the MC. I was the wrap-up speaker. I laid that on him. And he agrees.
Pitch outside. 1-2 strikes on Milbourne.
Well, you talked about the double play that Cerrone hit into. What Royce did at that point was stay away from the big inning. And he couldn't do that in New York, the 3-run home run.
Testimony to the way Royce holds runners aboard. Line into left field, and that will fall in for a base hit in front of Baker. Randolph pulling in at second. Hit number 3 off Jerry Royce. So Dave Winfield.
Now, as George Steinbrenner openly said earlier on Sports Beat, Winfield is, in effect, he said, is paralyzing this team because of his failures thus far at the plate. There is George, obviously nervous. What he thought might become a breeze after the second Yankee victory has become indeed turmoil.
Well, they need to win this game. It's not a must game because there could be 2 following this, but a hit from Winfield or a Winfield that's productive offensively would definitely allow them to score more runs.
He's over-eager. You just saw it. He's swinging at every first pitch. You notice, Jim?
Well, that's true. And as we said yesterday, he did that on numerous occasions. But also, I'm sure he's not seeing the ball well, either because of the shadows and the fact that he's slumping. Any hitter you ever talk to says when things are going bad, they have trouble picking up the ball coming out of the pitcher's hand. And there was a perfect illustration, chasing a bad pitch.
0-1 to Winfield. Chop to third. Ron Cey goes to Davy Lopes for 1. Back on to Garvey, not in time there. Milbourne is erased at second as Randolph advances to third. Winfield at first. Right fielder. And with 2 down, we'll see Reggie.
Here you see a good pitch from Royce. Winfield chases. Say, make sure he gets one. You'll see the throw, but Winfield has excellent speed, as we've said all during this series, and beats the throw to first.
But still a big out in a situation where Winfield had a chance to open up the ball game. So in effect, he failed.
Here's Reggie with 2 singles, a home run, a double, and a couple of walks. On base 6 straight times. Looks at a strike. 1-1. Reggie, 10 career World Series home runs, the 10th coming here yesterday, and 6 of the 10 here at Dodger Stadium.
What people don't realize about Reggie, you go back to a playoff game I pitched against him in 1971 where he homered to left field twice. Yankee Stadium takes away a lot of his power. I think if you look at the last World Series that he played in, everybody's seen him pull the ball. But we saw him last time go to left field, not because he probably wanted to, but because Royce made a pretty good pitch. In Dodger Stadium, he can hit the ball out of any field.
0-1 pitch. Lays off. 1-1. Runner at third. Milburn. Winfield at first, held on by Garvey. In the count. 1-1. Beg your pardon, Randolph at third. With 2 down. Reggie fouling it away well back into the upper deck. And the count is 1-2.
And here you have Royce having the situation he wants. Reggie has to look for both the curveball and that fastball.
Crowd starting to build with 2 strikes. They want the K. To Jackson. So for the first time, they handle Reggie Jackson. Royce picks up his 3rd strikeout.
Here you see the fastball away. Perfect pitch. Reggie swings right through it. Big strikeout for Royce.
Hershey is
real milk chocolate. I love that Hershey bar.
Hershey is that's something special no matter where you are. Anytime you want delicious chocolate, there's no need to go looking very hard.
Hershey's great!
'Cause Hershey is the great American chocolate bar.
Recently, a few extraordinary wines were entered in a prestigious international competition. Wines made from costly varietal grapes, harvested in some of the world's finest growing regions. An oak-aged Chardonnay, a deep, full-flavored Burgundy, a light, dry Chenin Blanc, a varietal Rosé, a spicy Gewürztraminer. And each of these wines, all from a single winemaker, was judged to be among the best of the world.
Silver medal, gold medal, silver. Gold. Gold medal.
The wines, all from America, all from California, and all from the wine cellars of America's premier vintners, Ernest and Julio Gallo.
Friday night boxing excitement is back. November 6th, a battle of unbeaten heavyweights. WBC champ Larry Holmes, who has turned back 10 challengers to his WBC title, including Muhammad Ali, Leon Spinks, and WBA champ Mike Weaver, defends his crown against WBC 8th-ranked Ronaldo Snipes. On the same card, undefeated WBC 2nd-ranked heavyweight Michael Dokes battles George Chaplin. A great night of heavyweight boxing action. November 6th, live on ABC.
The only run of the game coming in the top of the 2nd inning. Reggie Jackson doubled, moved to 3rd when Davey Lopes couldn't handle a ground ball by Bob Watson. Lou Piniella with a solid single to left. The Yankees lead 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Lopes, Russell, and Garvey.
Second time around, and these are the dangerous guys.
All one to Lopes.
Save for cleanup.
Fly ball to center. Winfield staggered a bit. In control now. One away.
Magic Johnson is
Bill Russell.
Michigan State alumnus. Los Angeles Laker.
Played with our producer Dennis Lewin at Michigan State, didn't he?
If he did, it would be a major story.
Big basket last night in the Lakers win.
Bill Russell looks at a strike, 0-1.
Unless the Magic one was then small enough to play midget basketball.
No, that was Chet Forty. Grounded to third as Rodriguez backs up and gets it. 2 down.
And here's an important man you see right there, Aurelio Rodriguez. Probably the best backup second baseman in the American League.
Third baseman.
Excuse me. Yes, he is playing third. And I'm sure that Ron Guidry will take advantage of him today.
Steve Garvey, .529 average in the 5 games.
It's really amazing. 9 hits. Getting hits with the profusion of Bobby Richardson in the 1960 series against Pittsburgh.
0-1. And remember, too, it was Garvey who hit the ball on which Nettles made the great play in Game 1 for an out.
Oh, yes. That stabbing catch, that savage line drive.
2 out, nobody on. 1-0 New York in the 3rd. 0-2.
There you saw Cerrone give a sign with 2 strikes, and Clyde King, the Yankee pitching coach, said the last thing he likes to see is a 2-strike base hit.
Guidry started to hop off the mound.
He really thought he had it. It was close.
Well, that's where you ask the umpire whether it was high or was it outside, or was it both?
Well, Ron thought it came in.
Fouled away. Mentioned Bobby Richardson, Howard. He and Lou Brock sharing the series record for most hits in the World Series, 13. Garvey's on that sort of pace right now. Count holding it, a ball and 2 strikes. And foul tip held by Cerrone for strike 3. Steve Garvey becomes Guidry's 3rd strikeout victim. Ron has struck out 1 in each of the first 3 innings. We'll move along to the 4th. In Game 5, it's 1-0 Yankees.
You already know that Napa has quality parts for American cars. But how about Napa's import parts? Well, whether you drive a Spider or a Beetle, a Thing or a Brat, or if you just happen to be driving a Rabbit or a Fox, a Miser or a Midget, you can find Napa parts for it. And that adds up to dependability in any language. Because from Audis to Z cars, when the name is Napa, the standard is quality.
Dear Atari Anonymous, my son Boris has a missile command problem.
My mission in life is to save all of mankind.
Lately, my daughter has developed a similar problem with Atari Warlords. Now, with video pinball, my husband is acting funny lately. With Atari games so ingenious, so involving, so intense, I ask you, Atari Anonymous, is this problem contagious?
Welcome to our people-pleasing places.
Good luck.
Holiday Inn makes me feel like a winner. That's why my team chooses Holiday Inn. No surprises. Beds always comfortable, always. Big rooms. And there's a Holiday Inn hotel near just about everywhere we play. Well, let's go call him like we see him.
You have to see him to call him.
Holiday Inn is #1 in people pleasing.
Bradshaw square off as the Oilers battle the Steelers in an AFC Central Division barn burner. Monday night on ABC.
Quiet man from Dawtown, Ohio, who led the Dodgers, as we have told you, to their first World Series victory ever, 1955, and then 3 more after that. Remember when he became the manager? Could he handle Robinson? Could he handle Ferrillo? Could he handle Snyder? Some of the unbridled ones. Well, he did.
Bob Watson leads off in the 4th. Not only did he handle them, but he handled all of them under 1-year contracts all the way down the line.
Probably would have asked for a long-term contract if he didn't have players that could perform as well as they could.
Never wrote a letter to Walter O'Malley the way Chuck Dressen, the late Chuck Dressen did, under the guidance of his wife, that got him fired.
You saw Lou Piniella waiting on deck with a count of 2 balls, no strikes on Watson. Bob reached on an error in the 2nd inning. 3-0. Now you can see that the pitcher's mound and the plate area encased in shadow, but the ball is still coming out of the sunlight. Watson aboard on 4 pitches. Jerry Royce yielding his 2nd base on balls. And Ron Perinoski comes out of the Dodger dugout. Pay a visit.
He's doing this, I'm sure, because as Jim has noticed, Royce doesn't seem comfortable out there. Jim's commented on it, and he's getting in and out of trouble, and that could reach a breaking point.
Well, that he is, but what makes it more difficult is when Watson comes up and hitting as well as he has and getting the 3-run home run, you have to pitch carefully. And as we said yesterday, pitchers are human. Some days you can make good pitches and some days you can't. Right now, it seems to me that Royce is struggling. He's struggling with his control. And he's just getting a lot of the balls in the center of the plate. And I guess he felt that he couldn't do that to Watson and wasn't able to make a good pitch.
Royce normally doesn't struggle with his control. Over the past 2 seasons, he's averaged just 1.6 walks per 9 innings, says Piniella. Fouls one away, 1-1. Lou with a base hit in the 2nd inning, driving in the game's only run thus far. Yankees 1, Dodgers nothing. In the 4th. Watson held aboard by Garvey.
We could possibly look for a hit and run, trying to get another runner in scoring position. Lou handles the bat extremely well.
Royce keeping it inside on him. 1-1.
Who was the best Stewart in the bullpen, the best hit-and-run hitter you've seen, Jim, in your career?
Well, 1965, when I came up in spring training, Dick Grote played for St. Louis, who was excellent, I think, in the American League. Cookie Rojas, one of the best handlers of the bat I've ever seen, especially on the high pitch.
That was a good pitch by Royce, my friend.
And Lou way out in front, lunging at it.
Well, that's the same pitch he hit in Yankee Stadium for the 4th run. Royce did not make a good pitch with his curveball. That's the first curveball he's thrown for a strike all day today. That's basically what you can say about pitchers. When you make the good pitches, a lot of times you get an out. If you make a bad one, it gives the hitter a chance to get a better chance to really hit the ball.
Piniella hits it down to Davey Lopes at 2nd, drops it, and has only 1 play, and after hesitating, throws it into the Yankee dugout. So what started out as if it might be a double play, all of a sudden turns into 2 men aboard for the Yankees, and with the ball going into the dugout, the umpire is going to rule that Watson will be allowed to score, and Lasorda is going to come out and plead the case with 3rd base umpire Nick Colosi.
Judgment call, though.
They're going to bring him back. They're going to bring him back to 3rd. Tommy said, what is this?
On an outfield throw, you get 2 bases, but Watson was going to 2nd. And here, Lopes is thinking 2. Now he's thinking 1, and he just doesn't get it. You can see that he doesn't get a good grip on the ball, comes out of his hand, and then he makes a bad throw to complicate matters even worse.
Now Bob Lemon pleading his case and getting the interpretation with the ball going all the way into the Yankee dugout. They'll send Watson back to third. And Piniella will be at second. They have given Lopes 2 errors on the play. And he now has 3 thus far today. So runners at second and third. Dodger infield. Russell is moving back at short with Lopes in at second, and Say about even with a bag at third. Cerrone hits one down to Russell, and despite Billy being back, Watson will hold at third as they get the out at first base. So Watson remains there with Piniella at second. That was interesting. Russell moved in as if he was going to play in, then kept looking into the dugout and kept moving back. And despite Billy being back, Watson holds at third.
What's interesting here is the continuity of pattern. The Yankees blew scoring opportunities in the second, even though they got 1 run. They had a couple of men on base, nobody out, run in. Here comes the intentional walk. In the third, left a couple on base when Reggie himself struck out. And if they blow another one here, it'll be much like yesterday when they had nothing but men left on base through the early innings and just didn't capitalize. It's an interesting pattern.
The walk to Rodriguez to load the bases. You could see Piniella. We had the shot of Lou, his frustration, as he went back into second, noting the positioning of Russell and the non-advancement of the Yankee runners.
Well, I think that's a statement on Watson's speed. He and Joe Altobelli down at third felt that he wouldn't go on a ground ball at one of their infielders. I think he could have easily made it, but it's a decision you have to make before the pitch is going to be hit. You take your lead and you're kind of leading towards home plate, and if the ball is hit and you know where the infielder's position, you probably could have scored easily.
As I said, the interesting thing there was that Russell looked like he was playing in and kept looking into the dugout, and as Royce went into his motion, Billy moved back a couple of steps.
Be that as it may, the Dodgers have been capitalizing on Yankee mistakes. The Yankees have not been capitalizing on Dodger mistakes.
Ron Guidry. Guidry bluffing a bunt. 1-0. Russell, as we take a look at the Dodger positioning in the infield, Russell is halfway. Lopes more than halfway in. Garvey even with a bag at first, laying down the bunt, fielded by Royce, comes home to Yeager for the force. So Guidry with the bases loaded, trying to bunt home a run, but Jerry Royce down off the mound and doing his job, and they throw out the lead man.
And here you'd see the bunt right back to Royce. He makes a nice play because the ball does short hop him, but Watson would not a whole lot of speed is easily out at home. And there's a difference between the American League and the National League again with the designated hitter rule. You wouldn't have that situation.
So 2 down with the bases still loaded. Willie Randolph grounded out, drew a walk. 2 for 11 in the series.
This is a tough batsman, but let me tell you this. The Yankees, if Royce gets out of this, it'll certainly have an effect on the Yankees. Not one you'll read immediately on the scoreboard, but certainly on their psyches.
1-0 the count.
And here we'll see if Royce respects the fact that Randolph is willing to walk. We'll see if he gets a good pitch to hit.
Bases loaded, 2 down. Grounded sharply down to Garvey. Stays with it, does it himself, and the Yankees have already left 6 men on base. I'm sure Steinbrenner noting that in his scorebook. After 3 1/2, it's the Yankees 1 and the Dodgers nothing.
Rainmaker to ground.
Hey, Rainmaker. One more, how to do it?
Raj picking us up a refill. Tell that fire not to go anywhere.
Bullseye! You got it!
Does that mean it's Miller time?
Roger.
Miller time.
When it's time to relax.
Time for the best tasting beer you can find.
stands clear.
Miller High Life.
If you got the time, Miller's got the beer.
Good. Now cut it in half. Where's that piece on inflation?
It's your broker from Dean Witter.
Today?
Some people just aren't easy to please,
More guns.
especially when it comes to their investments.
Jim, how'd we do?
You look like you just heard from Dean Witter.
At Dean Witter, we can give even the hard-to-please investor something to smile about.
Now, Brad.
You look like you just heard from Dean Witter.
Throughout history, we've created sounds to call out over vast distances.
Now, Zenith System 3 introduces the only television that's also a telephone. With advanced space phone, you can take or make calls anywhere in the world, right through your set.
Hello, London speaking.
No other TV set can make that call. System 3 from Zenith. The quality goes in before the name goes on.
Thursday, John Lennon, alive in the hearts of millions. And Liverpool, his home, remembers his beginnings. The road to fame and fortune. Thursday on 2020.
Go to the bottom of the fourth inning at Dodger Stadium. The Yankees on top, 1-0. Series even at 2 games apiece. Game 6 in New York on Tuesday night. If a 7th is necessary, Yankee Stadium on Wednesday night. 1 run, 3 hits, and no errors for the Yanks. No runs, 2 hits, and 3 errors, all by Lopes for the Dodgers.
But again, the Yankees unable to capitalize. Give credit to this Dodger team. Give credit to Jerry Royce. He's working out of trouble consistently, may yet put it all together and blow them down. And now the difficult Ron Cey.
Cey, Baker, and Guerrero, 0-1. Cey walking in his only appearance thus far today. Cey 5 for 15 in the series. Curling foul. Out of play. 0-2. Ron Guidry, who went 7 innings in game 1. Though 1-2 the count. Guidry, and it's been pointed out often, not completing any games this season. And of course, a good reason for that is the man named Gossett. Curling foul again, out of play. Tommy Lasorda. 3rd time he has guided the Dodgers into the World Series.
And he's managing very, very well. He had the guts to stick with Valenzuela. The first Dodger victory, and he worked miracles yesterday.
Cey goes down swinging, and that's 4 strikeouts, the last 2 in succession for Guidry. Dusty Baker really struggling coming up. He's 2 for 16 in the World Series thus far, and Howard talked with him about his problems.
Dusty, quite candidly, you've been struggling. What's been wrong?
I've been struggling now the last couple of weeks. My timing's been wrong. My balance has been wrong. And I've been struggling to find my balance and my timing. And those are the 2 most important parts of hitting, because when they're off, your speed of your bat's off, your depth perception's off, when to swing, and basically that's it. And you know, hopefully today I'll get going, because I feel very positive, and I know it's just a matter of time until I hit.
Baker 0 for 1 today.
Well, he did hit a line shot in that 1 turn at bat when Piniella made the staggering catch and fell to his knees. Got good wood on it then. So maybe he's right. Maybe he'll come out of it today.
1 ball, 1 strike to count. 1 out, bases empty. Dusty just laying off, and the pitch missing for ball 2.
Had an urge, but held.
Well, that was the second changeup that Guidry's thrown today. There's Jerry Royce. Did really pitch himself out of a jam last inning. Made some good pitches.
He's a competitor.
2-2.
can't find a nicer guy than Dusty Baker. We used to come north with the Atlanta Braves when he played with Atlanta. He and Ralph Carr and people like that, outstanding, not only outstanding players, but super guy.
Johnny B. Baker Jr. Well, his problems continue, and meanwhile, Guidry has struck out 3 in a row and 5 in the game. 2 down.
You know, like Dusty said, he has a real big swing, so a lot of things can go wrong. And when you're struggling, you don't see the ball. Guidry made an excellent pitch with the slider there, and things just compound each other.
Butcher touched on something the other day when he damaged his wrist up in Montreal, and this may be an aftermath. He's not feeling comfortable up there. He's being off rhythm, may be an aftermath of that. Subconsciously trying to protect the wrist.
Pedro Guerrero, 0 for 1. 0-1 the count. Guidry with 3 successive strikeouts, 5 in the game, and he has set down 7 in a row and 8 of the last 9. 1-0 Yanks, 2 out, bottom of the 4th. Goes after a bad pitch, and the count is 0-2.
But real bad.
Well, it's almost the same pitch he hit deep to center field. If you characterize the Dodger team, they are free swinging. But the only guy that really has a whole lot of patience is Ron Cey. Guerrero was up there to hit the high fastball. He's a much better fastball hitter. And started him off with a slider, and then he chased the high, bad fastball. And there you saw the slider again.
Ron Guidry has struck out the side. He has struck out 4 in a row, 6 in the game. We've played 4, and it remains the Yankees 1 and the Dodgers 0.
Kodacolor 2 film for prints captures all the colors you can imagine. Brilliant yellows and greens, from luscious watermelon to radiant peacock. Spectacular blues, from indigo to blueberry you can taste. Vivid reds, from rose to flame. More colors than your eyes can see. The more you care about color, the more you need Kodacolor 2 film from Kodak, America's storyteller.
Right Guard knows a man needs all the protection he can get. That's why Right Guard Solid has an action-triggered formula. Triggered to release protection when your body needs it most. So the more you sweat, the more protection you get. Right Guard action-triggered formula helps keep you dry and odor-free all day. Right Guard Antiperspirant Solid. The more you sweat, the more protection you get.
Why is our front-wheel drive Chevy Citation such a hero with so many Americans? Let's ask Perfect Couple.
Our Citation?
Perfect car.
Roomy perfection for 5. Plus perfect wagon-like space for our twin golden retriever.
Perfect breed.
No wonder Citation sales have passed 1 million.
Thank you, Perfect Couple, but it's 0.9 million.
Okay, nearly 1 million.
Nobody's perfect.
Now get bigger savings on new 1981 Citations.
I want to tell you about a new show tonight. Don't miss a special 2-hour premiere, an exciting all-new dramatic series that has been inspired by FBI cases. It's called Today's FBI, beginning tonight right after Game 5 in the Eastern and Central time zones. And here on the West Coast, you'll see it at 8 o'clock. Today's FBI. Larry Milburn to lead off in the 5th inning and looks at a strike. Milburn, Winfield, and Jackson with the Yankees ahead 1-0. Oh, 1 pitch. Down to the plate, 0-2.
The more I see the Dodger pitching staff, the more I see how well the ball carries and how irregular the infield is here, the more I admire the fact that they were second in the National League in earned run average.
And when you go back through the years, the Dodgers seemingly have had a good pitching staff ever since they moved to Los Angeles.
We talked about the reason yesterday. It used to be the biggest park probably in the National League, with the exception of Houston, until they moved the fences in back in 1968.
Comebacker. Jerry Royce takes care of it.
He had Milburn completely reaching. I think Jerry Royce is a beautiful pitcher to watch. Never loses his poise, unruffled by pressure situations.
He's made some adjustments over the years, too. It wasn't that long ago, 5-6 years back, when Royce could just simply blow you away. Throw fastball after fastball, and he had several games in which he struck out 10 or more. Winfield 0 for 2. 0-1 the count.
Well, that time he did not swing at the first pitch.
And he's lucky he didn't.
First time this game.
As you said during the series, he likes to get his arms extended, and they're keeping the ball down or they're pitching him in.
Line to left field, and he finally gets that elusive first hit. So Dave Winfield 0 for 16 in the series thus far with a base hit.
There you see.
I think he wants the ball is what it is. Dave said, give me that ball. I've been waiting to play in a World Series. I want the ball. Dave Winfield, you can see him pointing for it right there.
Well, he can keep his sense of humor.
So they'll put it away for him. One for the trophy case, and here's a man who's got about 9 shelves worth of balls from the World Series, or should have anyway. Jackson with a double, and he struck out in the third, 1 for 2. Reggie hitting it in the air, curling foul, and well back out of play.
I thought Jim made a very important point. There's Winfield getting the ball again. When he talked about Reggie's ability to hit it out in all directions here, there's his elation at finally getting his first World Series hit. There it is. Jim and I saw Reggie hit one out left field in the '77 series here.
Jackson a chopper to Lopes. Davey to second for 1. Back to first, double play. So Reggie had been on 6 straight times, but they've taken care of him twice in succession. We're halfway through, middle of the 5th, still 1-0, New York.
I can't see a thing, Stan. Did you turn on the windshield wipers? Of course I did. See? No, I can't. Obviously. We need new wipers. We obviously need new wipers.
Replace your old blades at least once a year with Anco, with specially formulated natural rubber for a smooth, clean wiping action.
That's a lot better, Ollie. Certainly is. Let's drive on. Not too fast, Ollie. Might be a school zone.
New Backwoods Smokes just hit town. Looking wild, but tasting mild.
New Backwoods Smokes. How can anything that looks so wild taste so mild? New Backwoods Smokes. How can anything that looks so wild taste so mild?
New Backwoods Smokes. All natural tobacco, hand-rolled look in a keep 'em fresh pocket pouch.
How can anything that looks so wild taste so mild?
Want me to check on him?
I'll do it.
A child's future is what life insurance is all about. Sentry, one of the country's largest insurance companies, is often first in finding better ways to guard that future. Sentry's new mortgage life plan can match your current mortgage and be adjusted if your mortgage should change. That's more than just protection. That's peace of mind.
It's 10 o'clock.
And all is well.
With Sentry, you know all's well.
Wednesday, a special 2-hour premiere.
Who are you?
Lee Majors is Hollywood's hottest stuntman.
Sometimes I'm Robert Redford.
Catch the Fall Guy Wednesday.
Going to the bottom of the 5th inning. The Yankees on top 1-0.
Cleveland over Baltimore. Look at the day. Brian Saipat, 42-28. New Orleans upset Cincinnati. Buffalo beats Denver. And Detroit beats Green Bay.
Steve Yeager lead things off for the Dodgers. 0-1 the count. Other scores.
Oh, Dallas trying to beat Miami. Minnesota falling to St. Louis. Oh, what a league this year. Washington upsetting New England.
The 0-1 to Yeager is taken high. 1-1.
The Giants beat Atlanta in overtime. How about that? As Mel Allen would have said, the Bears leading San Diego.
Yeager popping it up. Rodriguez there on the left side. 1 out. That ends 1 string for Guidry. He had struck out 4 in a row, but keeps alive another. He has retired 9 in a row.
Seattle beating the Jets, as they almost always do. I think Pete Rozelle may have achieved his dream. The Eagles constant beating Tampa Bay. He may have achieved an utterly mediocre league. Look at Oakland, 17-0 over Kansas City, and San Francisco beating the Rams. They know about that here in Dodger Town. They're not happy.
Thomas taking low, ball 1.
The thing about Ron Guidry is that the Dodgers hitter, after facing him in the first game, really felt he changed speeds a lot more than he did back in 1978. And first batter of this inning, Steve Yeager, he homered off him in New York on a high fastball away. He doubled, almost a home run here on a high slider, and that time he came back with a changeup, something that Yeager hasn't seen. Got him to pop to third base. We're seeing the Ron Guidry of 1981 at its best right now.
A strike, and the count 1-2. We may not have seen him at his best necessarily in game 1, but still he got the job done. 7 innings. Gossage came on.
Davis and Gossage.
Gossage did the, exactly. the positive job. Davis walking 2 in that game. 2-2 the count. Darryl Thomas 0 for 1 today and 0 for 3 in the series. Switch hitter.
We just saw an interesting thing, Jim, that you, as the great pitcher you are and have been, know very much about. Ron knew that he was beginning to work too quickly. He walked off to the back of the mound, steadied himself, paced himself, came back after having thrown 2 straight balls to Thomas.
Well, he made 2 pitches he didn't want to make, and I think the thing that pitchers do most is hurry up, and that can get you into some trouble.
Thomas down on strikes. So Guidry now is 7 strikeouts. Has struck out 5 of the last 6. Guidry this season averaged 7.3. He was 3rd in the league per 9 innings.
It's really per 7 innings. I know Clyde King, the pitching coach, says that he doesn't send his pitchers out there to pitch 7 innings, but you know when they have a record of something like 55 out of 58 of leads they've gone into late inning ball games, you know the pitchers on the Yankee staff know if they go out there and pitch a good strong 7 innings that Gossage is going to come in and do the job for him.
Jerry Royce 1-0 the count. So this game in stark contrast to what we have seen in games 3 and 4. Pitchers duel today. Ball 2 to Royce.
But still a tough, tense, tight ball game, which can change with just 1 blow.
Well, as a pitcher, you know, 1 mistake can mean the ball game.
Got the corner, 2-1.
It's a far cry from the game that Guidry pitched in New York, where he had a 5-1 lead, going really into the 7th inning.
Royce laying off, and the pitcher's away, so he's 3-1 on the pitcher.
3-1 on the opposing pitcher.
Davey Lopes on deck.
Goes back again, Jim. Settle down, steady himself.
Well, there's a reason for this, possibly, Howard. He's faced 8 straight right-handed hitters, and all of a sudden you have a pitcher come up that's standing on the open
That's
side.
one of the best points yet. The value of an alternating lineup.
3-2 pitch is fouled away.
Frequently, if a southpaw faces a totally right-handed opposing lineup, he can get a bead on an outside corner and stifle the opposition.
Jerry Royce takes ball 4. As Cerrone was on his way to the dugout, so was Guidry. Second walk given up by Guidry.
Here you see the 3-2 fastball. He wants to throw it down the middle. Jerry Royce, being a rather tall guy, just a little bit low for ball 4.
You know what I have in mind, Jim? Back in the 50s, when the Yankee-Dodger World Series rivalry was in its prime, the Dodgers had a predominantly right-handed hitting lineup. Reese, Ferrillo, Robinson, Campanella, Hodges, all of them. And they had their greatest troubles against slow-balling left-handers who would get a bead on that outside corner. Examples, Johnny Schmitz, Kenny Heintzelman.
Davey Lopes, the batter. 1-0. You saw the ignominious graphic. What Davey has done with 3 errors today and 5 in the series, tying the all-time World Series record for second baseman.
Kenny Raffensperger was another.
Lopes 0 for 2 today, 4 for 17 in the series. 1-1.
And there you saw Lopes helping him out, swinging the ball out of the strike zone.
Certainly did.
But that's the difference between the Dodgers leadoff man Lopes and Willie Randolph for the Yankees. Lopes walked 22 times this year. Randolph, not even having a good season, walked 57 times. A little bit different. Davey, after hitting 26 home runs, wants to hit that pitch.
1-2 the count. Interestingly, Royce, who did not walk once during the regular season, draws the walk here. Jerry at first base, and Watson is playing well back of him with 2 down. You see the positioning of Bob with the count 1 ball and 2 strikes now on Davey Lopes. Chop to Milburn. Comes up throwing and dug out by Watson. Good play at both ends. No runs, no hits. Leave 1 through 5. Still Yanks 1, Dodgers nothing. Back in Los Angeles after this commercial and a word from our local stations.
People trust Seiko technology for bold sports watches that perform brilliantly, even 100 meters beneath the sea. People trust Seiko for slim dress watches with every timekeeping function you'll probably ever need. People trust Seiko for watches that are as finely crafted as they are technologically advanced. In fact, people trust Seiko more than any other watch. At your authorized dealer.
Premiering Wednesday, Lee Majors is Hollywood's hottest stuntman, the Fall Guy.
Names are funny things. A few years ago, hardly anybody knew mine. So Richmond asked me to tell you about their suit names. This is a new Adams Row suit, traditional and classic. This is a Carlo suit, a very contemporary look. If you already like designer-named suits, you've got to see Carlo, only at a Richmond store. Once you try Richmond, no one else will suit you. Carlo's a nice name for a suit, but they could have named it Brian.
Bank of America introduces the little bank that stays open even when the big bank is closed. Our new Versateller automated tellers let you make a deposit.
Easy.
Get cash.
Easy.
Check your account balance.
Easy.
And more from 6 a.m. to midnight, 7 days a week with push-button ease. We have a lot of big banks in the Los Angeles area. Soon, we'll have a lot of little banks, too. Versateller automated tellers. More money convenience coming soon from Bank of America.
DMSO and X-rated TV starts Wednesday on 7.
This is still anybody's ball game. A 1-0 game, anything can happen. I remember 1947, the World Series, and maybe you do too. Harry Lavagetto, they called him Cookie, pinch hitting, bottom of the 9th, 2 out, 2 on. A no-hitter for Bill Bevins up to that point. Lavagetto out to right field, off the tricky Ebbets Field wall. Both runners scored. The Dodgers won the game. Then in the 6th game, a tremendous blow by the Yankee Clipper Joe DiMaggio. But look, little Sean Frito, and DiMaggio disgusted. That was some series, Mr. Michaels.
Back, whoa, doctor, on that catch. Red Barber calling it. Bob Watson in the 6th inning. Yankees ahead 1-0. 0-1 the count. Like the way you said, that tricky right field ball at Ebbets Field.
It was both concave and convex, and Tommy Henrik watched that ball and struggled with it.
Hit the sign, win a suit.
And what a beautiful shot from the Goodyear blimp.
Goodyear blimp Columbia, there it is. High above Chavez Ravine.
You know who scored the winning run that game?
Let me take it. You know.
Eddie Mixus.
Eddie Mixus.
Mixus will fix us. That was the motto in those days.
Jim was going to say Kiko Garcia. Watson hits it down to short. Russell stays with it and gets it.
Rose pitching him beautifully with the change of speed. Ball out in front.
Well, he can do that when he gets ahead of the hitters. Last couple innings, he's making much better pitches, what we would call, from a pitcher's standpoint, quality pitches.
Lou Piniella, his base hit in the second inning, driving in the game's only run. You joined us late. The Yankees in the second. Jackson a double. Davey Lopes then made an error on a ground ball by Watson. Jackson moving to third, and Piniella followed with a single to left. But Royce was able to escape further damage in that inning by getting Cerrone to hit into a double play. Yankees lead 1-0, but the Yanks have also stranded 6 through 5. In the air to right field, deep but playable. Guerrero is there and makes the play at the edge of the track. 2 down. Tommy Lasorda's wife. Lovely lady.
Yes, she is. And here's the man who's been, if the Yankees have a non-hero, if not quite a GOAT today, this would be he, Rick Cerrone. Got up with men on second and third. Quickly hit to the shortstop, never scored a runner. Then, first time up, hit into a double play with 2 on.
0-1 the count.
But on Sports Beat, Steinbrenner unhesitatingly said Cerrone will be back. Earlier, there had been rumors of a trade. But Rick has played very well in postseason play generally, and he'll be back.
Line to left field. Dusty Baker is right there, though, and makes the catch. So Cerrone gone. Yankees gone. 1, 2, 3. They go in the 6th. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th with a score. The Yankees 1 and the Dodgers nothing.
Blow away everything you ever heard about pickups and meet the revolutionary new size Chevy S10. There's never been a truck like it before.
Chevy S10.
Longer than the imports,
but smaller than full-size pickups.
There's never been a truck like it before.
Never!
Big, roomy cab.
And heavier payload than many standard full-size pickups.
Chevy S10.
The new size Chevy S10. Order yours today. There's never been a truck like it before.
Never!
Chevy is the power in trucks.
Bruised by his bicycle's bone-rattling ride, a boy complains, and his father listens. To cushion the bumps, John Dunlop invents the inflatable tire. For 27 years, automobiles were reserved for the rich, but a young engineer listens to what the world wants, a car anyone can afford. At Sperry, history has convinced us that listening well inspires new inventions, ignites new thoughts, uncovers whole new worlds of fresh ideas. From advanced computer systems to breakthrough technology in aerospace, listening keeps us at the forefront of all we do. If any doubt its power, consider where we'd be today if Queen Isabella of Spain hadn't listened nearly 500 years ago. Sperry, we understand how important it is to listen.
A battle of unbeatens. WBC heavyweight champ Larry Holmes defends his crown against Ronaldo Snipes. The WBC World Heavyweight Championship on the line, November 6th, live on ABC.
Al Michaels with Howard Cosell and Jim Palmer as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Game 5 of the 1981 World Series. The series tied at 2 games apiece. The Yankees leading here 1-0, and the crowd coming to life with Russell, Garvey, and Say facing Guidry here in the 6th. Bill Russell takes high, ball 1.
Key inning, it seems to me, for Guidry because of his tendency during the season to begin to weaken from here on out. Right, Jim?
Well, it is. He's coming right into the middle of their lineup, and to me, it's a key inning, but it's also very important to get Bill Russell out because you have Garvey following. You've had Say behind him, and even though Baker's not hitting, always a threat.
In there for a strike. That pitch was Guidry's 72nd of the game. And only 21 of them have missed the strike zone. Russell hits it in the air to left center field deep. Piniella on the move and makes the catch on the run on the track.
got pretty decent wood on that pitch.
Well, again, it's probably because Guidry realizes 2-1. He doesn't want to walk him.
That's right. Fell behind. But there's Piniella on the catch.
Not a particularly difficult catch. Lou's a very underrated outfield. His job in the course of the American League is mostly to be a DH, a designated hitter. But if we go back to 78 in the playoffs and in the World Series, made some great plays.
Garvey gets fooled, half swing strike, 0-1 on Steve. 1 for 2 today and 9 for 18 in the World Series. Now even at 1-1.
Look at those stats.
Only in 78 did he tail off.
Nobody's perfect.
That's right. Well, if you go back to 1978 and if you watch the game, it seemed to me that he was not very patient at the plate. The fact that they pitched him very well, and as Dave Winfield started swinging a lot of bad pitches.
2-2.
There you saw
Ball is really dipping.
Well, that's his slider, and when you can throw a 2-1 slider and you can throw it in that particular spot, you're going to be very successful. That's why he has 7 strikeouts. There you saw another one.
Full count. He's walked 2 to go along with the 7 strikeouts.
And again, full count. This is twice in this inning. Garvey should get a pretty good pitch to hit. But you have to worry about the next guy, Ron Cey, with capabilities of hitting a home run.
3-2 pitch is swung on and missed. Gets away from Cerrone, but he'll throw him out at first. 8 strikeouts for Louisiana Lightning.
And here's a 3-2 slider. It's in the dirt, but that shows you what a great slider Guidry has. Garvey heads up, sees the ball bound away from Cerrone. Rick has an easy play. Makes a strong, accurate throw to Watson at first.
2 away. The Dodgers hitless since the 2nd inning when Yeager doubled with 1 out. Their only other hit, a single by Garvey in the 1st.
His little poison.
Ron Cey, 0-1.
Used to call Paul Wayne a big poison, Lloyd Wayne a little poison, but they were both little fellas. Built in the manner of Ron Cey, Paul was.
Well, you can see that Ron Cey, you can look at his legs. That's where he gets a lot of his power. And his forearms are rather massive.
1-1.
Bob Turley lost that game in 10 innings to Clem Labine on a savage line drive over Enos Slaughter's head at Ebbets Field.
Cey hits it sharply down to third, blocked and recovered by Rodriguez. Strong throw gets him. Aurelio gets in front of it and makes the play. One third baseman throwing out the other.
Hard ball hit right at him. He gets right in front of it, as you said, Al. And here you'll see a strong arm. Nice throw to Watson.
Aurelio going down on one knee, keeps it in front of him, has time to throw him out, and the Dodgers are gone in order. We'll go to the 7th inning at Dodger Stadium. 1-0 Yankees.
We'll open your eyes.
Great picture. What kind of...
RCA Color Track.
Thought they only made the big ones.
Guess you thought wrong.
I have an RCA.
Really?
Big projection TV.
Let RCA open your eyes.
Really?
From our smallest color track to our giant bright projection TV.
What do you think?
The picture's gorgeous, Bob.
George.
We'll open your eyes, open your eyes. RCA.
When an engine needs a rebuild, I bring it to Joe.
That's me.
And you know what he's rebuilding a lot more of these days?
4-cylinder engines.
Small engines work a lot harder than big engines, so if you have a small car, it's even more important to take care of it right. Change the oil regularly, and put in a new Fram oil filter when you're supposed to. A Fram filter doesn't cost much.
I do.
But the choice is yours. You can pay me now.
Or pay me later.
I do one thing. I kick this ball through those 2 poles. Do one thing all the time to get to be great. Like Kentucky Fried Chicken. They don't try to do everything. just chicken, and no one else does it tender and juicy the Colonel's way.
Kentucky Fried Chicken, we do it right for you.
I do kicking right, they do chicken right.
Kentucky Fried Chicken, we do chicken right.
Quickly paced game. Quite in contrast to games 3 and 4. We move along to the 7th inning of game number 5. Yankees 1, Dodgers nothing. Aurelio Rodriguez, Ron Guidry, and Willie Randolph to face Jerry Royce. Rodriguez 0 for 1. 0-1 the count.
This is one of the big second guess yesterday. Pinch hitting Barry Foote for Aurelio in the 9th inning, striking out on 3 pitches. Aurelio had 2 hits at that particular time of the ball game.
There were a lot of second guesses yesterday.
Well, as Al said, a second guesser's paradise. I suppose if Foote had gone up there and homered.
That wasn't one for the Art Museum yesterday, but people will be talking about that game for a long time.
I'm still looking for Mumford.
Grounded to the left side. Handled by Billy Russell. 1 away. 1 out of the bases empty, and Ron Guidry struck out, grounded into a force at the plate when the Yankees had the bases loaded in the 4th, actually bunting into the force at the plate. 0 for 4 in the series. One and 0.
And as you said last inning, Howard, Royce has all command of his pitches. Threw a slow curveball to Rodriguez for a grounder to short, spotting his fastball.
He's put it all together. Has a sense of command now. Although that graphic is interesting, it would betoken a weakening in the late innings.
1 and 2 on Guidry. Jerry Royce, strikeout number 4. Royce has now set down 6 in a row. Willie Randolph, the batter.
He's certainly done his job, giving up that 1 run because of a Lopes error primarily, and settling down, containing the Yankees, squelching a number of early inning threats.
1-0 the count on Randolph.
Again, you see Willie a little bit disappointed that pitch was called a strike. But anytime you're 10 and 4 and you have a 2.29 ERA on AstroTurf as there is in the National League, and Astro Clay here, again, there you see the high fastball. Not a pitch that Randolph wants to hit. You have to be an outstanding pitcher. The game he pitched against Ryan, the final game of that Astro series, was a beautifully pitched game.
Grounded down to Russell. Ball hitting the side of the mound, and Billy throwing him out to retire the side. So Jerry Royce continues to do the job, showing no signs of weakening. Set down 7 straight. Middle of the 7th inning, still 1-0 Yankees.
Guess what I've got in here?
What?
A piece of the sun.
No wonder I can't get a tan.
It's Polaroid's new sun camera, a new system that can turn bad light into good pictures. Dear, go ahead, take my picture.
You know it'll be dark.
Nope. You've never been so sure of an instant picture.
Great, but doesn't this cost a lot?
No, but wasting film in bad light does. And besides, you never buy flash or extra batteries.
The sun looks the same. Where'd they take the piece from?
The other side.
You've never been so sure.
Bell System Knowledge brings you a way to manage information more productively. Dimension PBX, a programmable electronic communication system for making critical connections more rapidly, increasing profits, controlling costs, saving energy, creating new information management possibilities for an endless variety of businesses. Dimension PBX from Bell.
Talking baseball, like Reggie Quisenberry talking baseball. Carew and Gaylord Perry, Seaver, Garvey, Schmidt, and Vida Blue. If Cooperstown is calling, it's no fluke. They'll be with Willie, Mickey, and the Duke. Mickey and the Duke. Say hey, say hey, say hey.
The preceding message was furnished by Major League Baseball.
Dusty Baker leading off for the Dodgers in the bottom of the 7th inning. Baker, Guerrero, and Yeager facing Ron Guidry, who starts Dusty with a strike. Guidry yielding just 2 hits, both coming in the first 2 innings. Baker a chopper foul by Danny Ozark in the third base coaching box, and the count 0-2.
There are any number of Yankee fans here, and the one thing they don't want to see is a chopper going down to third base. They're psyched out, even if the Yankees aren't.
Yankees 1, Dodgers 0. 0-2 on Baker leading off in the bottom of the 7th inning. Half swing, comes around, down he goes. 9 strikeouts for Guidry.
Both pitches seem to falter in the late innings, if one can believe the statistics.
And here we see for the 9th strikeout, a slider ahead in the count 0-2. Baker has to chase it. A little bit out of the zone. Excellent slider for this 9th strikeout.
Guerrero looks at a strike. 0-1.
What Guidry is doing, he's establishing his fastball because he's got an excellent one. And it looks to me that he's got his best slider in the last month. So the Dodgers have 2 pitches to look for.
Time had been called by Guerrero. Count 0-1 on Pedro.
If you talk to hitters that hit off Guidry, the thing that makes his slider so difficult is when he throws his good one, it's just a little bit out of the strike zone.
Guerrero to deep left field, and the ball game is tied.
All it took.
Slumping in postseason play, but a man with good power, hit 12 during the regular season and ties it up here in the 7th.
And there you saw a slider that wasn't down and in, and that ball is crushed to left field.
And the Dodgers, with a tremendous team spirit, have become the team in this World Series with the right man in the right place at the right time. Look at them.
Crowd still going wild. Yeager the batter. Half swing, the appeal, get the call at first for a strike. 0-1 the count. The Dodgers even here in the 7th inning. 1-1 with 1 out and the base is empty. Yankee bullpen stirring around. 1-1 the count. One guess who's going to get up in the Yankee bullpen.
The Goose. This time there can be no question.
There he is. Time called. Time had been called. There's no pitch. Time had been called by the third base umpire. There's Guerrero with a home run to tie it up. Little doubt when I left the bat.
He did crush that ball. Jerry Royce is the pitcher who seems now to be in total command of the Yankees, but that can change with one swing too.
1-1 pitch to Yeager. 1-2. Here's Royce.
Well, the 2 mistakes that Guidry's made today. They've both been on high sliders. Yeager's ball that hit the top of the wall, and the home run by Guerrero.
To deep left field again, and the Dodgers have the lead. Back-to-back home runs by Guerrero and Yeager, 2-1 Los Angeles.
That fastball in the middle of the plate. We said all series that Yeager can hit the fastball. He homered to right field in New York in the first game. Another ball deep into the left field seats.
There's more to it than that. Guidry's tired. He's been tiring all year in the late innings. The real storyline here is this Dodger team and their excellence. And Steve Yeager, the ball player who felt betrayed, becomes in his own way maybe the biggest story of all. Did you see Lasorda run out and hug him?
Steve coming to bat only 83 times during the regular season. Hit 3 homers during the regular year. Thomas with a count 0-1. Taking low and inside, and the count is 1-1. So Guidry, who was sailing along, hadn't given up a hit since the second inning, and all of a sudden Guerrero and Yeager to the pavilion. 1-1 the count. Thomas to center field. Routine, Winfield. 2 down. Tommy Lasorda, his club trying to become the 8th to come back and win a World Series after trailing 2 games to nothing. Lemon, who won it all in '78, and looked like he had a pretty good lock on it when the teams headed west after Wednesday's second game. The response for Royce.
And does he deserve it?
0-1. Dodgers trying to win their first World Championship since 1965. 1-1. Came up short against Baltimore in '66, against Oakland in '74, against the Yankees in '77 and '78. Trying to turn it around. A strike, and the count is 1-2. Steve Yeager, the home run to put him out in front. There's Johnstone, one of yesterday's big heroes. On the left.
Probably told him how to do it after his 2-run home run yesterday.
Well, we showed that graphic earlier that vividly depicted how Guidry staggers, comes apart in the last 3 innings.
Royce, a soft humpback liner fielded by Milburn, and the inning is over. But the Dodgers get 2 runs on 2 hits. The homers by Guerrero and Yeager. And at the end of 7 complete, it's the Dodgers 2, the Yankees 1. Back at Dodger Stadium after this commercial and a word from our local stations.
Gamma Rays Probe. Laser beams scan. Robots perform incredible feats in the creation of Chevrolet Cavalier. Masterminded for remarkable precision, dedication to detail, exactness of fit, and consistent quality. Chevrolet Cavalier. Mastery of mind over matter.
Now get bigger savings with even lower 12.9% financing.
Monday on That's Incredible, the dream house of the future, a foam home.
American Airlines thinks a business traveler has no business waiting in line. After line, after line. That's why American gives you only 1 check-in line where you can get boarding passes for your entire trip instead of extra lines. Even pre-reserved seating up to 11 months in advance instead of waiting in more lines. So what are you waiting for?
We're American Airlines, doing what we do best.
when baseball made news with Fernando Valenzuela's spectacular debut, Pete Rose's record hit, and its longest strike. 16 million readers were part of it in Sports Illustrated. When Watson was masterful, McEnroe magnificent, and Sugar Ray superfine, 16 million readers were part of it in Sports Illustrated. And now, as the Yankees and Dodgers battle in this year's World Series, 16 million readers will be part of the news and excitement in Sports Illustrated. You can be part of it, too.
Raider on Tourette Syndrome, Thursday at 6.
And a very happy Mike Connors right now, a 2-1 Dodger lead, but the series tonight, the new FBI series, today's FBI, Mike, very happy about it.
Yes, I hope there's as many people watching that show tonight as they're watching this series.
Premiering tonight on ABC. What about some of the other stars in the series?
Well, there's talented Richard Hill, Carol Potter, just a minute, please. Carol Potter and Harold Sylvester, all fine talent.
Okay. Back to you, Al.
All right, Uke. And in the 8th inning, it's Milburn grounding to Say on the first pitch, one away. One out. Bases empty. Well, we've got a pretty good lead-in from Mr. Connors, whose show will be on after Game 5 of the World Series in the Eastern and Central time zones and 8 o'clock on the West Coast.
Now remember, all season long, the Yankees, trailing in the late innings, have not been able to rescue a single game, even though they won 55 of 56 when they were leading going into the late innings. Let's see if now, when it's more important than it's ever been all year long, they can show some resiliency. But this pitcher has been commanding. He's the one who gained in strength.
Jerry Royce has set down the last 8 straight, 11 of the last 12. Winfield. 1-0 the count. Winfield, the last man to reach off Royce when Dave picked up his first hit in the series. A single to left in the 5th inning. He's 1 for 17. 1 out, bases empty, 2-1 Los Angeles in the 8th. 1-1. On deck, Reggie Jackson.
Again, a good point is that Royce cannot lose until he gets a man on. Winfield is the tying run, not the winning run. You don't want to be so careful that you walk him and have the next guy come up and hit a 2-run home run.
1-2 the count. Royce has walked 3, one of those intentionally. Struck out 4. Appears to be very much in command. 1-2 the count.
What a difference 3 days can make. We got to Los Angeles, reading the media. It was a chicken team. They were dead. Some chicken team, these Dodgers.
2-2. Winfield leaning out over the plate and bending back. Pitched really not that close.
Oh, he wants the ball out over the plate, and Royce, there you see that sailing fastball in on him.
Winfield, who's loved this park in his years with San Diego. 2-2.
Winfield swung at Royce's pitch, not his pitch.
And here you see a high fastball sailing out of the strike zone. Not a good pitch to handle for Winfield. Strike 3.
Reggie Jackson. Doubled, struck out, hit into a double play. Crowd roaring with each delivery now.
And you know, Reggie wants to try to get a fastball in the middle of the plate that he can drive. You saw yesterday. And there you see that Royce has only allowed 1 home run all year to a left-handed batter, but Reggie can hit left-handers. We proved that yesterday off Steve Howe.
The only left-hander to homer off Royce this season was Joe Morgan of the San Francisco Giants. 1-1 to count.
And here, as a pitcher, you don't want to overthrow. When you start overthrowing, you kind of tense up your wrist, and you don't have the good movement on the ball. The last thing Royce wants to do is throw a nothing fastball in the center of the plate to a guy like Jackson.
Reggie goes the other way. Easy play for Dusty Baker. The Yankees are gone in the 8th. 3 up, 3 down through 7 1/2. It's the Dodgers 2, the Yankees 1 in Game 5.
I've had to write some tough things about some tough guys. But there's one guy I can't write anything bad about. His unique brand of baseball has made him a living legend. So have his commercials. They got me to try his favorite beer, light beer from Miller. Light's less filling and it really tastes great. So I bought this light for that renowned yet humble man, Art Frunger.
Cheer up, Billy. One day you'll be famous just like me.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
I checked your car and it needs new brakes. I recommend the kind that chirp like a cricket.
Chirp, Mr. Goodrich?
Right. Genuine GM replacement disc brake pads. When they need replacing, they warn you with a chirp.
How, Mr. Goodrich?
With this built-in wear sensing signal.
Brakes with a chirp.
Keep that great GM feeling.
Sounds good.
With genuine GM parts.
Marcus, I see Whisker. Give it the pivot.
Give it the pivot. Give it the pivot. Atra.
Next time, Jose, give it the pivot.
Atra.
The Gillette Atra razor pivots to continually adjust and hug every curve, contour, and angle. No other razor shaves closer and more comfortably than Atra.
I give it the pivot.
Give it the pivot. Atra.
Give it the pivot with Gillette Atra.
Americans are megadosing on vitamins.
As the miles accumulate, you want to slow down the mileage.
What are the benefits? Are there dangers? Monday, watch ABC's World News Tonight.
For the Yankees, these changes, Lou Piniella goes from left over to right. Jerry Mumphrey is indeed alive and well, and there he is. A day late, but he's back in center field. And Dave Winfield moves over to left. And the Yankees make a change as the Goose comes out of the bullpen to try to keep the Dodgers in check in the 8th inning. Gossage to face Lopes, Russell, and Garvey. 2-1 Los Angeles.
Maybe too little, too late. The use of Gossage.
Davey Lopes 0 for 3. 1-0. When the Yankees come up in the top of the 9th inning, Watson, Piniella, and Cerrone. 2-0 the count.
I think Gossage may have a problem. He hasn't pitched in 4 days.
It's entirely possible.
We saw him in New York. He had 5 days off. Struggled really both games till he got in the groove in the last inning.
And out of the groove right here, 3-0 the count on Davey Lopes.
Might very well have rusted out.
3-1.
Because in spite of how hard he throws, he is a control pitcher. When he's on, he can throw the ball 95 miles per hour on the corner.
3-2. That last pitch was clocked at 92.
That was 94 miles per hour, that last one. And point is, Gossage is no longer the key to this game. Jerry Royce is the key.
Ball 4. Davey Lopes draws a walk. And Bill Russell coming up. What a shot as you look down upon Dodger Stadium from the Goodyear blip.
Of course, Howard, I think in all fairness to Bob Lemon, Guidry started off last inning striking Baker out, even though he has had a very tough time at the plate. I would think that after Guerrero hit a home run, you might want to bring Gossage in, but it's kind of hard to anticipate things.
Well, I haven't criticized Lemon. He's had a very difficult time of it. I haven't criticized him today.
Russell bunting. Watson will make the catch, and Lopes is alert enough to get back to first base.
I was not saying that. I just think it illustrates how difficult a major league manager's job is. And a lot of times, I suppose if Guidry had stayed in, somehow weathered the 7th inning. You wouldn't have people second guessing.
Things add up, Jim, as we said yesterday. The blown opportunities in the early innings, the blown opportunities of the Yankees today in the early innings. But the overriding people here today in the long run have been Jerry Royce and Steve Yeager, along with Guerrero. And this team, there's a reason for statistics in baseball. They foretell things.
Steve Garvey popping it up. Shallow right field. Lou Piniella coming on. Two gone.
This Dodger team so terribly underrated by so many. They may be in the process of doing exactly what they did against Houston. Down 2-0 in games they won 3 in a row. This team was much too lightly regarded by too many people.
Part of the reason being that the Dodgers, like a couple of other clubs that were first half winners, including the Yankees, did not perform particularly well in the second half of the season. Close play. Lopes getting back.
And you see Lopes diving back in. 8 straight stolen bases in postseason play. Pretty good time to run. Take a shot to get a guy second base. Maybe pick up another run. Make it a little bit easier for Royce.
Say hitting a chopper foul.
Ouch.
0-1. They've set new all-time stadium records here in attendance the last 2 days, 56,000 plus on each occasion. Needless to say, a sellout again today.
You ought to be awfully proud of this ball club. As Howard said, come back and back and back.
Don't discount Tommy Lasorda either. They cheered him today. He's taken a lot of garbage this year and last year. But he's held together and he has managed superbly well in this series.
0-1 pitch. Oh. Look out! Woo. Right off the helmet. Ron Cey. You saw him blinking and his eyes open now as a 94-mile-an-hour fastball crunches into the helmet of Ron Cey. And the crowd, as you can hear, getting all over Gossage. Ron had no chance really to get out of the way of that pitch.
Well, it looked like the ball hit him in the batting helmet.
Helmet going
flying off. If it did. One can understand the passions of the crowd in a case like this, but they must understand there's no way in the world Gossage threw at Ron Cey.
Right off the helmet. Yep.
Not in that situation. Thank heaven for helmets. Right on the corner of the helmet. And, you know, it took a lot of years for the helmet to be brought into use as we look at Ron, and who seems to be talking. What a terrible, terrible thing to happen. Helmets finally came into vogue in the big leagues as a result of the beaning of Don Zimmer, when he almost died, having been beamed down at St. Paul and then subsequently as a Dodger in a pitch thrown by Jeffcoat. I remember once in Brooklyn when Ducky Wucky Medwick, then a member of the Dodgers, was beamed by a right-hander named Bobby Bowman. And Larry McPhail, then running the Dodgers, threatened to go into criminal court. Thank heavens. Look at Ron. He's up.
So Cey, fortunately, able to walk off with a little bit of assistance. Lasorda, of course, will not take any chances here. Sending in a pinch runner and a great ovation for a man who's played a key role in the resurgence of the Dodgers over the weekend here. And as Cey departs, again, the booing begins for Gossage. They're really on him now. What a frightening sight, and the sound, too. Fortunately, you can hear it hit plastic, knowing that it indeed got the helmet, at least the brunt of the force did. And they'll take Cey back to the trainer's room. Meanwhile, Kenny Landreau comes out to pinch run for Cey at first base.
It's remarkable that Ron was able to talk, apparently keep his wits together, because such a blow had to have had a concussive effect.
With 2 down, Landreau, the pinch runner at first, Davey Lopes now at second, and Dusty Baker at the plate, fouling it straight back. 0-1.
And ironically now, each starting third baseman has been injured in this series. Of course, a damaged thumb is one thing. The frightening sight we have just seen, another.
Baker checking his swing and fouling it off. No balls and 2 strikes on Dusty.
Don't think the next batter, after having seen what happened to Cey, isn't affected as he watches Gossage wind up and throw what can become a dangerous instrumentality. What is?
Baker grounding it foul. 0-2. Dodgers on top, 2-1. Again now when the Yankees come up in the 9th. Watson, Piniella, Cerrone. 5, 6, and 7 hitters. The Dodgers will probably move Darryl Thomas into play third base in the 9th inning and keep Landreau in the game in center. Still 0-2. Lopes at second.
Dusty Baker having some good swings.
Time called. Something going on back of the plate. The ball is stuck in the screen is what the problem is, so one of the ball boys will climb up there and dislodge it. Yankees with a run in the 2nd inning. Royce has pitched beautifully today. L.A. back-to-back homers in the 7th by Guerrero and Yeager. That's the difference. 0-2 pitch, breaking ball, fouled away.
Seems like the 4 days has hurt Gossage. Obviously, wild and normal hitting Cey in the head. It seems like all his pitches are on the inside part of the plate.
Runners are going. The pitch is inside, and the throw is not in time. It's dropped by Rodriguez. Davey Lopes running on his own and getting a great jump. Landreau started late. He was watching Davey, and it's a double steal.
Well, we saw Lopes yesterday steal second and steal third. 9th straight time he stolen a base in postseason games. And what this does, a base hit will score 2 runs and make Jerry Royce's job a lot easier.
The owner isn't happy. You can understand that. He's become bigger than his ball players in a publicity sense.
1-2 pitch. Hit foul. It's interesting, Howard. Tremendous contrast in managers. You've got the effusive, ebullient Lasorda and the placid, stoical Lemon. And a tremendous contrast in the owners with Steinbrenner.
The converse.
All over the papers. And Peter O'Malley, who just eschews publicity.
And Baker stays alive. He's fighting Gossage. He's being exhorted, as you can see, by Lasorda. Lemon has a kind of fix on life. You lose a child in life, and your world doesn't turn on a ball game.
Baker hits a breaking pitch, foul, deep down the line. Well back out of play. So Dusty hanging right in with a count 1-2. Jerry Royce will go to the mound in the 9th inning.
And as a pitcher, I know what he wants. He wants a 3-run cushion instead of a 1-run cushion.
Bouncing ball to third. Rodriguez has to back up. He's got a strong arm and is able to gun him down. So the inning is over. They get all over Gossage as he comes back to the dugout. The Dodgers leave a couple in the 8th and will go to the 9th. There are the men due up in Game 5. It's the Dodgers 2 and the Yankees 1.
Trust the leader in technology to forge a new legend, Seiko LaSalle. Trust Seiko to fuse slim elegance and peerless performance, new Seiko LaSalle. Trust Seiko to create timepieces destined for a place among the world's great possessions. Seiko LaSalle, miracles of slimness, marvels of technology. No wonder people trust Seiko more than any other watch. Seiko at your authorized dealer.
Ah, new car.
Chevy Chevette.
Must have cost a fortune for the fancy wheels and white striped tires.
Standard, Father.
Radio. Reclining seats. On your salary.
Standard, Father. Along with front disc brakes and radial tires.
And these fancy stripes?
$89 extra.
And why would you spend $89 on stripes?
The devil made me do it.
Oh,
Chevy makes good things.
The devil, you say?
This is radiator rust. It's building up after just 10,000 miles on weak, neglected antifreeze. Now look at a radiator protected with new improved Prestone 2, same 10,000 miles. Quite a difference. Introducing the new silicone silicate formula Prestone to lock out rust and corrosion in all metals. Now it's even stronger for better aluminum protection. New improved Prestone 2, the best seller, just got better. No wonder we're #1.
For the Dodgers, as speculated, Darryl Thomas at third base. Kenny Landreau stays in center field as we go to the 9th. Al Michaels along with Howard Cosell, Jim Palmer. I want to thank our statistician in the booth, Alan Roth. Steve Hurt doing a great job with the graphics as the Dodgers take a 2-1 advantage into the 9th inning. Bob Watson fouling off Royce's first offering. As you look at Terry Royce, Jerry's wife, looking for 3 more outs. Watson 0 for 2 plus a walk. 1-1. Pitch. Watson lifting it foul. Dodger bullpen. Busy. Back of the left-hander Royce here in the 9th inning. The right-hander is yesterday's starter Bob Welch. The lefty is Terry Forster. Still 1-2.
Now you have to look ahead, assuming Royce can survive, and wonder and hope that Ron Cey will be able to play on Tuesday. Because the series is a long way from over. Different in Yankee Stadium.
Grounded to short. Russell stays with an erratic pop and gets him. 1 away. Terry Royce with a sigh of relief as Lou Piniella comes to the plate. We aren't, by the way, checking on the condition of Ron Cey, who is back in the trainer's room. Game 6 coming up on Tuesday. There are the probables. Tommy John will pitch on 2 days rest against Bert Hooton. 8 o'clock Eastern time at Yankee Stadium.
And what Royce has done is what he's done for the last 4 or 5 innings. He's gotten ahead of the hitters. He got right ahead of Watson, made him chase a couple of bad pitches, made a good one on the inside part of the plate, and the ball was hit right at Russell for the out.
The interesting thing about this sport is you can sense things. You get a feeling. You could sense Royce coming on. You couldn't sense what happened to Guidry unless you began with the Guerrero home run and took into the light of the situation the whole Guidry background of faltering in the late innings.
Piniella bouncing ball toward the middle, and that's a base hit. So the Yankees get the tying run on. The first hit off Royce since Winfield's single in the 5th inning. Jerry had set down 11 straight. So Piniella at first base. Cerrone will be the hitter. Lou looking over into the dugout as if he expects a pinch runner to come out.
We'll probably see Bobby Brown.
That will be the case. That's why time is out here. And it will be Bobby Brown who emerges from the Yankee dugout as the tying run. The Yankees with a run in the second inning. The Dodgers with 2 in the 7th. Back-to-back homers by Guerrero and Yeager. Cerrone lifting it to center field. Landro there. 2 down.
Interesting. Swung on the first pitch again. 3 out of 4 times, every time with men on base. The one time he waited, he hit a line shot. You just saw Steinbrenner register disgust. He sent a line shot to left field.
He told you Cerrone will be back next year.
Well, no, the reason that and here we see Aurelio Rodriguez.
They hit for him yesterday with Barry Foote. With 1 out of the 9th inning, the crowd standing is 1. Rodriguez goes after the first pitch and hits it off the foot of the third base umpire. Foul off Nick Colosi's foot. Joe Altobelli is going to argue it was a fair ball, and Colosi saying, I'm standing in foul territory.
I think you'll see the foul line, and maybe he wasn't.
Here comes Lemon.
And here's a hot shot by Rodriguez. Darryl Thomas is on the line, as he should be. And there you can see
it's a foul ball.
He's in foul ground all the way, no doubt.
Going back to Cerrone, Cerrone is a first ball fastball hitter. I think you could second guess the fact that he has swung at poor pitches to hit. But basically, that's the way he hits. And Royce has been able to get him out on some good pitches early in the count.
0-1. Rodriguez fouling it away, and the count is 0-2.
Again, Jerry Royce has gotten ahead of the hitter. Has a number of options now. You can throw him that slow curveball. He can come in. This is probably the best place to go, or he can go away with that fastball.
As one, they stand at Dodger Stadium. The home team has won every game thus far in the World Series. The Dodgers trying to keep that streak intact. 2 out, no balls, 2 strikes on Rodriguez. And the Dodgers lead it 3 games to 2. The Los Angeles Dodgers down 2 games to nothing. Now up 3 games to 2. We'll be back in a moment to talk with Pedro Guerrero, and Steve Yeager will return to Dodger Stadium after this commercial and a word from our local station.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Where?
Sears said they'd install the muffler in an hour. An hour's up.
Since when does an hour mean 60 minutes?
Confidence, Karen. Confidence.
Now Sears will install the Muzzler muffler for $24.99 within 60 minutes of your authorization, or the Muzzler labor charge is free.
Ah, Mr. Carlson, 60 minutes on the nose.
Well, I never doubted it for a second.
For great value and fast service, you can count on Sears.
Premiering tonight at 8, a 2-hour special of a hot new series, Today's FBI.
No bank or savings and loan can pay you more interest or save you more taxes on a new 1-year tax saver certificate than Wells Fargo. And none offers you the financial counsel of your own Wells Fargo personal banker. Maximum tax benefit, maximum interest, a personal banker to help you make the most of both. Only Wells Fargo delivers it all.
Lots of companies will move your air cargo. There are big ones and small ones, and they drive around picking up and delivering. But guess who most of them use to ship? Flying Tigers. We carry cargo for most air cargo companies, so we're probably already shipping yours. Call us first, and your cargo doesn't have to be given to anyone else. We can pick it up, fly it, and deliver it all ourselves.
Flying Tiger.
Call us in the first place.
X-rated TV, starting Wednesday at 11.
Al, the hitting heroes today for the Dodgers, Pedro Guerrero on an 0-1 pitch to tie it at 1-1. What did you hit, Pedro?
Well, I think it was a slider. You know, he was throwing that pitch all day, but that one, I guess, didn't break too good, so I hit again.
You know, it looked like it was awfully tough seeing today, though.
Well, it was tough to see when the game first started, but then later on, you know, I can see better.
What about you, Steve? What is it about postseason play with you? You hit a home run the other day, the first time ever to right field in Yankee Stadium, and then today the big one off Gossage on a Guidry on a 1-2 pitch. No doubt about it in left field.
Well, you know, I just seem to excel, I guess, in postseason play, and I enjoy it because it's what we fight for from the time we go to spring training until the end of the season, is to get, like Lasorda says, the Fall Classic. A lot of clubs, a lot of people counted us out all year long. We weren't supposed to beat the Astros. We weren't supposed to beat Montreal. We did. We're together, and we lost the first 2 in New York. We come back and won 3 in a row. We're going back to New York and trying to win 1 out of 2 there.
Great series here. Back to you, Al Michaels.
All right, thank you, Uke. What a weekend in Los Angeles. Don't forget tonight, coming up, today's FBI beginning at 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 Central. You'll see it next. Final score, 2-1 Los Angeles.
Picking and choosing the right investments requires very careful handling. One wrong move can easily damage the best laid plans. At Merrill Lynch, we know that size and strength can be very valuable, but it is our sensitivity to your investment goals and agility in helping you reach them that makes us what we are. Merrill Lynch, a breed apart.
Here's 2 good friends.
Come on, guys, just 2 more floors.
You know, we heard apartments were hard to find. But the roof?
Well, the apartment's on the 3rd floor, but tonight.
Oh, Dave.
Yeah, well, you guys have been traveling all day, so we thought we'd pull out all the stops.
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be Low and Brown.
Here's to your exterior decorating. Let it be Low and Brown.
If there was ever been a more emotional ball game pitched here at Dodger Stadium, I can't remember when. It's been a long time. Outstanding job by Jerry Royce today, 2-1 Dodgers.
I agree with everything you say, Bob. Boy, that was fun.
Jerry, these fans pump you up all day long?
Well, they've been pumping us up all series long, all season long. You got to give them credit. They come out here in large numbers, and it makes all the difference in the world. But I've been waiting 15, 20, 25 years ever since you were playing.
Jerry, what's the difference in your performance the other game you pitched to today?
Well, I kept the ball down most of the day today. I went predominantly fastballs, threw maybe 3 or 4 curveballs. And the other game in New York, I was throwing probably too many curveballs, getting the ball up, and I just didn't pitch my kind of game. Today I did.
Solid game. Back to you, Al.
All right, Uke, again, the final score, the Dodgers 2 and the Yankees 1. The Dodgers leading in the series 3 games to 2. Al Michaels, Howard Cosell, Jim Palmer, so long from Los Angeles, with a reminder to join us tomorrow night for ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. The Oilers taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Tuesday night, Game 6 of the 1981 World Series. Also premiering tonight, today's FBI. Coming up next in the Eastern and Central regions, and at 8 p.m. here on the West Coast. Blimp provided by the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. Travel arrangements made through and a promotional fee paid by United Airlines. United flies more people to Hawaii than any other airline. That's what Friendly Skies are all about. Today's game has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television.
Catch a new spirit of action and adventure. Who are you? It's Lee Majors as Hollywood's hottest stuntman.
Sometimes I'm Robert Redford.
The Fall Guy, a special 2-hour premiere. Wednesday.
Here on ABC.
Recently, Road & Track chose its 10 best cars for the 80s. 3 of the 10 cars were the Porsche 928, Best Exotic Sports GT, the Audi Coupe, Best Sports Coupe, and the Audi 5000 Turbo, Best Family Sedan. See these Road & Track winners and the other great Porsches and Audis at your Southern California Porsche Audi dealer now.
Bank of America announces a new investment opportunity, Tax-Free Plus.
My wife and I can get up to $2,000 interest, tax-free.
Plus all the safety of California's largest bank.
Plus all the convenience, too.
Plus, the money in my account can help me get checking free of monthly charges.
With Bank of America's one-year time deposit, you get tax-free income, plus a lot more. Tax-Free Plus at Bank of America.
Stay with Channel 7 and be an eyewitness to history.
We're back at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles. The final score right there, 2-1. The Dodgers winning it. The Yankees winning games 1 and 2. The Dodgers with 3 one-run victories over the weekend here. So in all 5 games, the home team has prevailed. And the Dodgers, in quest of their first world championship since 1965, need 1 more to pick it up. The home run here by Pedro Guerrero coming in the 7th inning off Ron Guidry, who had been sailing along till then. Guerrero drilling it deep into the bleachers in left field to tie the game. And that, of course, was followed by the home run off the bat of Steve Yeager right here.
And here you see a fastball in the middle of the plate. Yeager, a fastball hitter, hits it deep to left. 2-1, Dodgers.
And that's the way it wound up, with Jerry Royce going all the way.
One could see Royce take command in this ball game from the middle innings on. One could see him getting stronger and stronger, and the fans are sitting here almost reverently. Maybe they've got it a little bit out of whack in its importance in the fullness of life, but it's a very big part of their lives, and they still find it a subject to rejoice over. They have beaten the Yankees 3 in a row, and they have shown in every case the ability to come back. And the Yankees have shown in every case the inability to capitalize upon the opportunities presented. Today was no exception. Reviewing the scorecard, top of the 2nd, they got a run in. They had 2 men on base, nobody out. Hitting at the first pitch, Cerrone grounded to the shortstop, double play. In the 3rd inning, the Yankees had 2 men on base, only 1 out. Once again, Winfield failed, and then Reggie struck out. In the 4th inning, they actually had men on 2nd and 3rd, no one out. Cerrone failed to score the runner. Then an intentional walk filled the bases. Guidry essayed the bunt, force it home. In other words, Royce was equal to the occasion. The Yankees were not. We've had one very frightening incident today, the unfortunate and completely accidental beating of Dodger third baseman Ron Cey. Word has come to us that he has been taken to the hospital. He walked off the field under his own power. Superficially appeared to be all right, but he's in the hospital for an appropriate checkup. And let's give you a look at that Ron Cey play again. The pitch at 95 miles per hour, sailing in toward Ron, and actually the force of it knocking the helmet off his head. Thank heavens it hit the corner of the helmet. In the old days, as we pointed out, before the days of helmets, heaven knows, once Carl Mays killed a batter with a submarine pitch. But it's okay now. I think Bob Uecker is down there ready to pick up. Robert Uecker, take over.
Thank you, Howard. And again with Steve Yeager. And Steve and I just talking here a moment ago about the pitch that hit Cey And Steve, you were about one of the first people there, and I guess you had a pretty good look at what happened and the extent of the injury, if there is one.
Well, you know, Bobby, I don't know if there's any injuries. There was no blood or anything, and that was one thing that Ronnie had said, was everything intact? And the trainer said, yeah, it's fine. And Ronnie had complained of a little bit of numbness on the left side where the ball hit him. And naturally, as hard as Gossage throws, it's going to be a little numb back there. And they're going back, and they're going to take him to the hospital and take some precautionary x-rays. And I just hope that it's just a little headache he has for tonight and tomorrow, and get him back in that lineup on Tuesday, because it's a big clog. He's a big wheel in our machine, you might say. And the month that he was out with the broken hand, we certainly missed him. We hope that he's back in there Tuesday night.
Steve, let's talk about catching today. Royce, and the same holds true for Guidry with Brown Cerrone. There's so much talk about how tough it is to see as a hitter here in Dodger Stadium. It's also tough to see catching sometimes. I noticed a couple of times pitches from Royce that you apparently didn't see that well.
Well, it is. It's very difficult catching a left-handed pitcher in the daylight here in Dodger Stadium. At nighttime, it's all right, but it seems like all the pitches come out of the right field pavilion. They're very difficult to see as far as hitting-wise, especially if they're down in the strike zone and a little off-speed pitches. Jerry's ball moves so much that 1 minute it'll sink and another minute it'll sail. And the only thing I was trying to do was stay on one knee, keep him down in the strike zone, because in New York he was up. Watson hurt him with a high fastball, and I just wanted to make sure he kept him down and took his time and did mechanical right.
Steve, congratulations on a fine game and a big win for the Dodgers. Back upstairs, Dal Michaels.
All right, Uke, and while we have a moment, Howard, we can check out the NFL today.
Okay, the NFL scores today, Al. Cleveland over Baltimore by 14. Superb day for Brian Sipe. New Orleans upset Cincinnati. Tremendous surprise. Great day for George Rogers. Buffalo outfought Denver 9-7, and you saw the way they won it. Detroit by 4 over Green Bay, and a good day for Eric Hipple. Dallas edged Miami 28-27, a great day for White. Minnesota upset by St. Louis. We move ahead. Washington defeated New England by 2 points. The Redskins coming on. And the Giants may be the surprise team in football, beating the powerful Falcons by 3 in overtime. And the Seattle Seahawks finally win a game, and look at that. The Otis Brown recently acquired. Philadelphia remains the constant team in the league. Kansas City overtaking a huge Oakland 17-point lead, now leading the apparently former Super Bowl champion. San Francisco, what a job Walsh is doing, beating the Rams by 3. And there it is again. The Dodgers 2, the Yankees 1. Royce over Guidry, Guerrero and Yeager, consecutive home runs. Bottom of the 7th, it came after Baker had led off the inning by striking out at a time when Guidry seemed invincible. Game 6, Tuesday, New York. Wednesday, Tuesday, Hooten against Tommy John. So long from Dodger Stadium.